Chapter 633. Longao and Longbatian were very curious as to where Master God Diviner was taking them. Master God Diviner didn't say much, and neither of them asked. Thus, the two of them followed Master God Diviner to a side hall. After passing through 11 side halls in a row, the divine mathematician finally stopped. Longao and Longbatian looked at each other and saw a trace of surprise in each other's eyes. It was also a huge crystal side hall, but the whole side hall was dark and oppressive. Master God Diviner, is this the place you wanted to bring us to? Master God Diviner nodded. Longao, did you think that just because you absorbed a bit of essence energy, you would be able to reach the peak of the martial path and reach the same height as the heavenly Taos? Longao was very curious. What exactly did Master God Diviner mean by that? According to Long Fu, once he absorbed the essence energy, he would definitely be able to break through the peak of the martial path and reach the same height as the heavenly Taos. Then he would be able to fight the heavenly Taos to the death. That was why Longao had taken the risk to steal the essence energy. If he had been the slightest bit careless, he would have been killed by the heavenly Taos. But now, Longao was no fool. He could tell that there was more to Master God Diviner's words. What exactly did he mean? Longao, I can tell you clearly that even if you absorb the essence energy, you will still not be able to reach the peak of the martial path. Longao was very surprised to hear that. He couldn't understand why Master God Diviner would say such a thing. Longbatian was also surprised. He had never imagined that this descendant of his would have already obtained essence energy. Longbatian, of course, knew what origin energy represented. Back then, Master God Diviner had hoped to pass on essence energy to him, but he had refused. Longbatian was filled with regret. If he had agreed back then, he would have already become the second heavenly Taos. But now that things had come to this point, no matter how much he regretted it, there was no going back. However, Longbatian was very happy that it could possess the origin energy. Longao, your thinking is too simple. It's easier said than done to reach the peak of martial arts. Just possessing the origin energy is not enough. I'll show you now. Before Longao and Longbatian could ask, Master God Diviner reached out with his right hand and sliced open space. At this moment, the space became barren. Origin energy? Feeling the terrifying aura coming from the space, Longao was thoroughly shocked. However, after thinking about it for a while, he understood. After all, the divine mathematician had already stepped onto the peak of martial arts. He was in existence on the same level as the heavenly Tao. Therefore, it wasn't surprising that the divine mathematician possessed the source strength. That's right, it's the power of origin. Longao, I'll get straight to the point. If you want to break through to the peak of martial arts in the future, other than having the power of origin, the most important thing is that you must have the power of circulation. Only then can you reach the state of endless growth. Endless growth? Senior God Diviner, Yangqi said, may I ask what I should do to accomplish this? I'll help you. Even as he spoke, Longao felt the essence power enter his body. However, Master God Diviner didn't immediately tell him to consume it. Given Longao's current strength, if he tried to forcibly consume it, the consequences would be too horrible to contemplate. Master God Diviner's intentions were simple. He wanted to pour the power of origin into Longao's Dantian region, and then take care of the power of circulation. Once Longao absorbed the power of origin, he would naturally be able to break through to the peak of martial arts. There was no doubt that Master God Diviner was preparing everything for Longao. If the heavenly Tao found out about this, it was hard to say whether or not it would be angered to death. 2 hours passed. Longao, Master God Diviner said, I've already prepared everything for you. As for whether or not you can take the final step, that will depend on your good fortune. That's all I can do. Longao was pleasantly surprised. He knew exactly what Master God Diviner had just done. Many thanks, Senior God Diviner. Master God Diviner seemed very weak. He waved his hand and said, you too can go. If there's nothing else, don't come again. I'm really tired. I need to rest. Longao and Longbatian bowed respectfully and slowly retreated. Master God Diviner was the only one left in the side chamber. Looking at the empty side chamber, Master God Diviner sighed deeply. After leaving the Crystal Palace, Long Batian directly asked, Ao, what happened just now? Things had already come to this point. Long Ao knew that if he continued to hide it, it would be a bit too much. Therefore, Long Ao told Long Batian everything that had happened. After listening, Long Batian couldn't help but sigh. Of course, he knew that Ao had risked his life to obtain the power of origin on Spirit Beast Island. He knew how dangerous it was. Ao, you're too reckless. If the Heavenly Tao finds out about this, you'll be in big trouble. Old Ancestor, opportunities are often fought for by oneself. Since I've already promised Senior God Diviner, I have to do what I have to do. Long Batian nodded and didn't continue to ask about the power of origin and the Heavenly Tao. He knew that if Long Ao wanted to tell him, he would tell him even if he didn't ask. If Long Ao didn't want to tell him, even if he used his status to ask, it wouldn't have much meaning. Brat, I'm going to kill you. Just as the two were about to leave, a terrifying roar came from the distance. Then, 5 golden tiger sharks appeared and began to attack Long Ao. Long Ao was shocked because he knew that although he had the old ancestor by his side, no matter what, the old ancestor was still in existence in the form of a divine soul. If he was unlucky, wouldn't he and the old ancestor be in big trouble? Thinking of this, Long Ao was about to turn and leave. But at this time, Long Batian roared and a terrifying aura suddenly erupted from his body. The powerful aura of a heavenly god realm expert scared the 5 golden tiger sharks and forced them to stop. Although Long Batian was only a divine soul, his original body was a heavenly god realm expert after all. Moreover, he had reincarnated 6 times. His strength was there. It was only 5 golden tiger sharks. Even if there were divine beasts among them, they still weren't a match for Long Batian. Ao, don't you need divine souls? I'll give you one now. Divine souls? Long Ao's heart was simply excited to the extreme. Because previously when he had entered the grave of the gods, he had gone through a near-death experience and finally obtained the shameless Shinto of thousands of divine souls. As long as he returned smoothly this time, Long Ao had full confidence that he would be able to create an army of Shinto warriors given enough time. Chapter 634. Long Ao didn't have time to tell anyone about the thousands of divine souls. However, no one would complain about having too many divine souls. Thank you, old ancestor. Nodding, Long Batian didn't put the 5 golden tiger sharks in his eyes and rushed out. However, Long Batian came back even faster. His face was ugly as he stared at the huge figure that suddenly appeared not far away. It was a flirtatious young man, but Long Ao could clearly feel that this young man's aura was exactly the same as the 5 golden tiger sharks. Could it be that this young man was also a golden tiger shark? Long Ao wasn't a fool. To be able to make the old ancestor so wary, he believed that the other party was also a heavenly god-level divine beast. Old ancestor, let's go first. Long Batian didn't want to leave at all, but he knew clearly that if he was at his peak, he could fight against the other party. But now, he was just a divine soul. It was impossible. Helpless, Long Batian and Long Ao turned around and flew away. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared without a trace. Grandpa, they ran away. The flirtatious young man snorted. His face was full of contempt. He waved his hand and said, "You guys go back first. I'll bring the other 2 back later." The golden tiger sharks naturally knew their grandpa's strength. Without the slightest worry, the 5 golden tiger sharks turned around and left. Heavenly God's divine soul. Ha ha ha, I've waited for so long. The flirtatious young man's face was full of excitement because he knew what the divine soul of a heavenly god represented. Once he devoured the divine soul of a heavenly god, he believed that he would be able to break through the realm that he couldn't break through for a long time. If the old ancestor was a heavenly god, the flirtatious young man wouldn't dare to chase after him even if he had 10,000 guts. But the other party was a divine soul. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Old ancestor, that golden tiger shark just now, is it a heavenly god-level divine beast? Long Batian nodded and said, "Yes, I've sensed it just now." This heavenly god-level divine beast is very strong. If I was at my peak, I wouldn't have any problems, but now, I can't win against this golden tiger shark. Long Baitian's face was very ugly. Longao obviously knew what this meant. It seemed like this golden tiger shark's strength was not simple. Aoer, leave now. With my strength, it shouldn't be a problem for me to block the golden tiger shark. No, we can't do that. He didn't even think about it. Longao directly rejected him. What kind of joke was this? Although he was very confident in the old ancestor's strength, it was still the same sentence. After all, the old ancestor was not at his peak. If he was confident, he believed that the old ancestor would have made a move just now. There was no need to wait until now. Before Long Batian could speak, Longao suddenly said, "Ancestor, I have an idea. Come with me." He was very curious. Long Batian didn't know what method Longao had to resist the so-called heavenly god beast. Just like this, Longao brought Long Batian and shot towards the direction of the divine beast water dragon. 10 minutes later, "Old Huang, we had an agreement. No matter what, you're not allowed to step into my territory. Don't tell me you don't put me in your eyes." Looking at the huge blue dragon in front of him, which was the so-called divine beast water dragon, the charming young man's face was a little ugly, because he never thought that the divine beast water dragon would help two humans. The golden tiger shark and the divine beast water dragon had been enemies for many years. However, both divine beasts knew very well that even if they fought for millions of years, there would still be no winner unless one of them could continue to break through. Because of this, the golden tiger shark and the divine beast water dragon made an agreement to temporarily cease all activities. Unless one of them had a breakthrough, no one was allowed to step into the other's territory. For so many years, both heavenly god beasts had done this because neither of them had broken through to a higher realm. The divine beast water dragon naturally knew that the golden tiger shark had not broken through. Otherwise, the divine beast water dragon would have fled long ago. Water dragon, I believe you know the purpose of my visit this time. Although you and I have fought for so many years, we're still friends. Hand over the two humans, and we'll write off the grudge between us. What do you think?" The divine beast water dragon snorted coldly as if it was looking at an idiot. It looked at the golden tiger shark and said coldly, "Get out of my territory. Otherwise, I don't suggest to continue fighting with you. You don't know what's good for you. Water dragon, since we've been friends for so many years, as long as you hand over the divine soul of a heavenly god, we'll share it equally. I believe you know what a divine soul of a heavenly god realm martial artist means. As long as you and I devour it equally, there's a high chance for us to break through." Hearing this, the divine beast water dragon hesitated for a moment. It had been stuck in this realm for so many years. It would be a lie to say that it didn't want to continue breaking through, because the divine beast water dragon naturally knew what it would mean if it could continue to break through. However, the divine beast water dragon did not dare to do so. It forcefully suppressed the greed in its heart and scolded fiercely, "King shameless thing. It's fine if you're shameless, but you actually dragged me into this. As a divine beast, even I feel ashamed for you." The golden tiger shark didn't know what Long Ao represented, but how could the divine beast water dragon not know? If it really did such a thing, how could it face the divine mathematician? The golden tiger shark was confused by the divine beast water dragon scolding. It didn't know what was going on. Was the divine beast water dragon really so noble? It didn't seem like the divine beast water dragon's character. One had to know that the other party was a genuine divine soul of a heavenly god. Could the divine beast water dragon really resist such temptation? The golden tiger shark didn't believe it. However, the truth was right in front of him. He scolded fiercely, "Water dragon, don't be so shameless. I'm already giving you face by sharing half with you." *CK off. The divine beast water dragon's temper was quite fiery. Coupled with the divine mathematician's backing, it was simply fearless. Before the golden tiger shark could react, the divine beast water dragon had already appeared beside him and attacked fiercely. The golden tiger shark was startled. It never thought that the divine beast water dragon would start the battle so quickly. In the blink of an eye, the two heavenly divine beasts were already engaged in a fierce battle, exchanging blows back and forth. Aoer, why is the divine beast water dragon helping us? Looking at the two divine beasts fighting in the distance, Longbatian was very curious. Because the divine beast water dragon's strength was obvious. Once the two divine beasts joined hands, it would be very difficult for them to leave this place. Old ancestor, the divine beast water dragon is not helping us. It's giving face to the divine mathematician. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to escape today. But no matter what, we still have to thank the divine mathematician. P.S. Chapter 5, delivered after midnight. Staying up late every day, it's so annoying. If the Long family and the other superpowers know that our Long family has over 1,000 divine Tao inheritances, they definitely won't just stand by and watch. At that time, we'll be in big trouble. Longao sure nodded. How could he not know what Longao was worried about? Let alone over 1,000 divine Tao inheritances, even if it was just one divine Tao inheritance, once news of it spread, it would definitely shake the entire 9 prefectures. It would bring endless trouble to the family. Aoer, I know what you mean. What are you going to do? Just say it. Grandfather, the total number of people in the family is around 300. Adding in my friends and reliable disciples, I'm going to gather 1,000 people to accept the inheritance. But this matter has to be kept a secret. No matter who it is, they can't leak it. Longao had already decided that he wouldn't refine any divine Tao inheritances. He was going to give away all the divine Tao inheritances. According to Long Fu's guess, in 3 years or 5 years, the family would have over 1,000 divine Tao experts. What did that mean? With over 1,000 divine Tao experts, let alone the 9 prefectures, even in the entire martial heaven continent, the family would be able to occupy a position. Longao was also a bit excited. He excitedly said, I understand. I'll go arrange it in a bit. Aoer, you just came back. You must be tired. Go rest first. Nodding, Longao didn't go rest. Instead, he went to the cave to see his so-called ancestor, Longbatian. Aoer, have you really decided not to accept the inheritance? Ancestor, I've already said that I won't accept any inheritance. I want to walk my own martial Tao. I want to rely on my own cultivation to reach the peak of the martial Tao. If Longao wanted to accept an inheritance, he had countless opportunities. He wouldn't have waited until now. It was still the same words. He wanted to rely on his own efforts to reach the peak of the martial Tao. Only then could he truly possess the power to contend against the heavenly Taos. Longbatian was full of praise. I already know what you mean. You're doing the right thing. A single person's power is useless unless the entire family becomes powerful. You've helped me accomplish what I couldn't do back then. I thank you on behalf of the Long family's ancestors. Ancestors? Speaking of ancestors, Longao knew that the ancestor of the family was Long Tian. However, he really didn't like the Long family. He didn't want to have the slightest connection with the Long family. Aoer, after you've finished your matter and everyone in the family has broken through to the divine Tao, I'll prepare to enter the 7th reincarnation. At that time, the family will be handed over to you. Ancestor, I'm very clear that it won't be long before the Long family summons me. At that time, when I go to the Long family, I'll definitely break off relations with the Long family. If I bring the family to a place of no return, waving his hand, before Longao could finish, Longbatian already said, Aoer, you can do whatever you want. No matter what decision you make, I'll support you unconditionally. I believe the entire family will support you. In fact, Longbatian had already guessed this. As for the family, Longbatian knew that Longao had become the soul of the family. No matter what decision he made, he believed that no one in the family would oppose it. This was the charm of the Longao. Longbatian was very excited to see that his descendant could do this. No matter what, he had tried to do this in the past, but failed. However, thinking of the Long family, Longbatian's face became slightly dignified. He sighed deeply and said, Aoer, the strength of the Long family is not as simple as you think. Even if the family has thousands of divine Tao warriors, they can't compete with the Long family. Therefore, you can only use your wits and not your strength. Otherwise, the result will be the same as mine, shameful. P.S. Everyone, stop scolding. Xiaoju also doesn't want to update at night. He reluctantly wrote a chapter in the morning and has to go to the infusion bottle in the afternoon. If you support Xiaoju, please cast your monthly votes and recommendation votes. If you don't want to support, please leave quietly. Xiaoju is a human, not a machine. Xiaoju only wants to say that Xiaoju has done his best. Chapter 636. Longao had long heard of the Long family's strength. The Long family was one of the strongest forces in the world. It was easy to imagine how terrifying the Long family was. The old ancestor had a grudge with the Long family, so he knew the Long family's strength very well. Therefore, Longao knew that even if the family had thousands of supreme Tao warriors, they would not be a match for the Long family. Because of this, Longao's face instantly turned serious. No matter what, the Long family was too strong. Once he broke ties with the Long family, not only himself, but even the family would be implicated. What should he do? Did he really have to compromise? Longao was very unwilling because he wanted to overthrow the Long family. According to his decision, from now on, as long as they were disciples of the Long family, they would be able to enter the Dragon Valley. Long family divided all the families into 9 levels. No matter how hard the Long family members below level 4 tried, they would not be able to enter the Dragon Valley and thus would not be able to produce a dragon warrior. This way, the Long family members below level 4 would not be able to make a name for themselves. Longao could not understand. Long family members should be trying to develop their own strength, and dragon warriors were the driving force for development. If so, why would the Long family stop everyone from entering the Dragon Valley? As if he could understand Longao's thoughts, Long Batian said helplessly, Aoer, you must not understand why the Long family would stop their disciples from entering the Dragon Valley and becoming a dragon warrior. Nodding, Longao silently agreed. Aoer, you don't know. Long family members are doing this because they want to stop the bloodline awakening. The old ancestor's words completely confused Longao. He did not know what he meant. Why stop the bloodline awakening? Back then, when the primordial divine dragon and Long Tian fell, they passed down their supreme bloodline. However, as time passed, the Dragon Clan and the Long family no longer wanted to continue to be strong. Instead, they wanted to protect their origin. Therefore, they stopped disciples of level 3 and below from awakening their bloodline. So that was the case. Rumor has it that members of the Long family who are below level 4 are not allowed to enter the Dragon Valley. However, as everyone knows, even a level 2 Long family disciple would find it extremely difficult to enter the Dragon Valley. This is the selfishness of a Long family. Long family is afraid that Long family disciples below level 2 will enter the Dragon Valley to become dragon warriors and awaken their bloodline, threatening the status of the Long family. Nodding, then shaking his head, Long Batian said, Long family members don't have to worry about becoming a dragon warrior and awakening their bloodline. Long family members only have to worry about someone awakening their ancestors' bloodline and becoming a peerless expert. Longao completely understood. In the end, the Long family had changed. They had become selfish, narrow-minded, and extremely shameless. Old ancestor, as far as I know, the Long family doesn't stop everyone from entering the Dragon Valley. Is the Long family not afraid? Long family members are very cunning. After entering the Dragon Valley and the Dragon Clan Ancestral Hall, once they discover that someone has awakened an abnormal bloodline, they will immediately shut him down. Whether he lives or dies will depend on fate. Longao's heart trembled violently. Of course, he understood the meaning of the old ancestor's words. Longao also broke out in cold sweat for Long Chun. Long Chun had just gone to the Long family not long ago. Fortunately, there were no abnormalities in his awakened bloodline. Otherwise, it was unknown whether Long Chun would be able to return alive. Aoer, the strength of the Long family is not something you can imagine. Therefore, unless it is absolutely necessary, I hope that you will not break off relations with the Long family. Regarding the old ancestor's worries, Longao was naturally well aware. The two of them did not continue to dwell on this issue. In the following period of time, Longao and Longao wholeheartedly focused on the divine inheritance. This task was extremely difficult. After all, it was not easy to completely suppress this news. Over 1,000 divine inheritances were no small matter. The slightest carelessness could bring disaster to the family. It was precisely because of this that Longao and Longao were especially careful. However, at this time, the armies of the four great powers had already arrived. Their goal was very simple. They wanted the Long family to hand over Longao. The four great powers took advantage of the danger that everyone was in and prepared to join forces with the forces of the 9 provinces to deal with Longao. However, before the four great powers could attack, Longao had already arrived with the Long family. Looking coldly at the sea of people in front of him, Longao did not show the slightest fear. With a cold snort, Longao said coldly, "You guys are really bold. You actually dare to come to my dragon sect and ask for someone. I'm right here. I'd like to see who dares." Longao was fine. Looking at the sober Longao, everyone was a little stunned. They did not know what had happened at all. According to the rumors, Longao had slaughtered the ethereal palace and almost destroyed it. He was called a complete killing machine by the four great powers. Because of this, everyone in the world was in danger. They were very afraid that Longao would kill them. Helpless, everyone followed the four great powers into the dragon sect. They wanted to eliminate the root of the problem as soon as possible. However, at this moment, everyone looked at Longao who was standing in front of them. They were completely dumbfounded. They did not know if the four great powers were lying or not. The four great powers are really shameless. They want to deal with my dragon sect, but they want to borrow the power of others. They want to watch the fire from the shore and reap the benefits in the end. Longhao's voice was not loud. However, everyone heard it loud and clear. None of the people standing here were fools. Naturally, they knew what Longao meant. The four great powers wanted to kill them with a borrowed knife. They wanted to use them as cannon fodder. The four great powers were really ruthless. Without waiting for the four major forces to step forward to clarify the matter, everyone immediately retreated. The crowd that was still a sea of people a moment ago was instantly reduced by 70%. In other words, the disciples of the four major forces were not that many, only 30%. The motive of the four great powers was clear. However, since things had come to this point, how could the four great powers dare to stay any longer? They left immediately. Unknowingly, everyone realized that the strength of the dragon sect had grown to the same level as the four great powers. Even though there were countless people who did not want to believe it, the truth was right before their eyes. They had no choice but to believe it. The ones who were the most oppressed were the four great powers. Actually, based on the strength of the four great powers, if they had joined forces earlier on, they could have destroyed the dragon sect easily even if they were to strike out individually. However, it was precisely because the four great powers were fighting both openly and secretly that the dragon sect had an opportunity to take advantage of. In the end, the development of the dragon sect was way too fast. Before the four great powers could even react, the dragon sect was already on the same level as them. In fact, they were even vaguely suppressing the four great powers. P.S. Thank you for the brothers who are concerned about Little Nine. Little Nine will continue to work hard. As for those who are scolding, we'll leave it to No Beginning and the others. Chapter 637. The Nine States, including the Nine-State Spirit Region. Originally, there were only four major forces in the 9 states. They were the East Royal City, the Long Family of the West, the Netherworld Mansion of the South, and the Ethereal Palace of the North. But the situation was completely different now. In the 9 prefectures, there were no longer 4 major forces, but 5 major forces. The 5 major forces were the East Royal City, the Long Family of the West, the Netherworld Mansion of the South, the Ethereal Palace of the North, and the Dragon Sect. Although the 4 major forces were unwilling to admit it, the Dragon Sect's strength was enough to compete with them. Helpless, the 4 major forces could only accept this reality. The 5 major forces were the East Royal City, the Long Family of the West, the Netherworld Mansion of the South, the Ethereal Palace of the North, and the dragon sect of the 9 states. The 4 major forces and the dragon sect seemed to have a tacit understanding. Both sides began to stabilize and develop their own forces. Among the 4 major forces, the ethereal palace was the worst. Previously, Longao suddenly slaughtered the ethereal palace. Not only did he kill 2 saints and scare away the great emperor, but he also slaughtered countless experts of the ethereal palace. In just a few seconds, he killed 40% of the disciples of the ethereal palace. What did that mean? Not only that, half of the martial artists above the Earth Saint realm were killed. It was the biggest loss of the ethereal palace. With the threat of the dragon sect, the great Emperor Wei Lin thought that the other 3 major forces would not take action. But the great Emperor Wei Lin was too naive. In the 9-state spirit region, a storm was brewing. The 3 major forces worked together to deal with the ethereal palace. They hoped to eliminate the ethereal palace and become the so-called tripartite balance. Longao Peak. About 100 meters away from the Longao Peak, Duanhe suddenly appeared. He looked coldly at the Longao Peak in front of him and said to himself, "There must be a secret for the Longao to rise in such a short time. Humph, everyone is negligent. If I go to the Longao Peak now, I can get the secret. If you want it, I can take you there." "Who is it?" Hearing the sudden voice, Duanhe was shocked and looked around vigilantly. At this moment, Duanhe shuddered as though he had seen a ghost. He suppressed the fear in his heart and said indifferently, "Master Long, it's already so late. Why haven't you slept yet?" The figure that had just appeared was none other than the master of the dragon sect, Longao. Longao sighed helplessly and said, "Someone is not sleeping in the middle of the night. How could I dare to go alone? I wonder what brings Brother Duan to my Long clan as a guest?" The dragon sect and the Long family had already merged. After thinking about it, Longao decided to merge the 2 factions. If a battle broke out, the dragon sect and Long family would not be able to take care of each other, and they would suffer great losses. If he moved the dragon sect into the Long family, with the old ancestor overseeing things and the support of the Fire Qilin, he believed that even if he had to face the 4 great forces at the same time, he would still have nothing to fear. In fact, the most important reason why Longao merged the dragon sect and the Long family was because of the thousands of divine Tao inheritances. In order to hide the truth, he had no choice but to do so. After all, the thousands of divine Tao inheritances were too shocking and could not be leaked out. "Master Long, you must be joking. The main reason I came here this time is to inform you of something. Great Emperor Wei Lin is preparing to deal with you. Master Long, please take care of yourself." Why is Brother Duan so kind? How could Longao not know what Duanhe was thinking? Sneering in his heart, Longao wanted to see what Duanhe was going to do. He wanted to see how a shameless person could speak without blushing. "Master Long, no matter what, you and my imperial city are allies, so I have the obligation to inform you. Since you already know, I will take my leave first. Duanhe, you and I both know what you are thinking. Since that is the case, why don't we be frank? I killed your son back then, and I know that you hold a grudge and have always wanted to take revenge. If that is the case, why don't we end it now? What do you say?" Hearing about his son, Duanhe's killing intent surged, but he knew that he was no match for Lin Fan. Smiling, Duanhe suddenly said, "He asked for it. He can't blame Master Long goodbye. If the King of Hell wants you to die at midnight, who dares to keep you alive until midnight?" "Longao, what do you mean? Don't forget that the Dragon Sect and the Imperial City are still allies." Duanhe was afraid of Longao's killing intent. If Longao really wanted to kill him, even if he was killed, he believed that the Imperial City wouldn't choose to start a war with the Dragon Sect at this time. So what if he was the City Lord? If he died, the Imperial City could change the City Lord at any time. Even his father couldn't do anything. This was the consequence of having no strength. Everything was nonsense. Because of this, Duanhe was afraid. He was afraid that Longao would really kill him at this time. Duanhe smiled, but Longao didn't. Instead, he still looked cold. "Alliance?" Lin Fan snorted. He had seen shameless people before, but he had never seen someone so shameless. It was simply shameless to the extreme. "If the Imperial City still remembers that we are allies, then they won't try to kill me again and again. Duan He, don't think that everyone is a fool. Let me tell you, if the king of hell can kill you at midnight, I, Longao, can do the same. If I want you to die now, no matter who comes, they won't be able to save you. Do you believe me? Duan He shuddered. Before he could react, he had already let out a scream. Longao, you're despicable. You sneaked an attack on me. Duan He never expected that Longao, the dignified master of the dragon sect and a genuine saint, would actually sneak an attack on him just now. If his soul wasn't strong enough, he believed that he would be dead now. Duan He, do you think that your soul is strong enough to withstand my soul attack? All was fair in war. Longao wouldn't talk about a fair fight with Duan He. Moreover, with Duan He's strength, even if they were to fight head-on, he could easily destroy him. With Longao's strength, once he used his soul attack, not to mention one Duan He, even 100 Duan He would have died just now. Duan He didn't want to believe it. He suddenly laughed crazily and said, Longao, do you really think that you're invincible? If you didn't use any evil methods or sneak an attack with just you? Stubborn. Duan He really knew how to twist words. It was obvious that he wasn't strong enough, but he still dilly-dallied here. Longao said with a smile, You want a fair fight? For some reason, after hearing Longao's words, Duan He's heart shuddered again. He said anxiously, Longao, I'm afraid that you don't dare to have a fair fight with me. Today, I want to see how strong the legendary Longao is. P.S. Little 9 has 5 chapters a day. If I update a little later, a bunch of people will start to scold me. However, these people who are scolding me don't vote. Little 9 wants to ask, do you really vote every day? What's your rank on the fan list? If you can rush into the top 5, or even the first, you can scold me as you wish. However, he knew very well how powerful the old ancestor was. If the old ancestor made a move, Longao would definitely die. Although Duan He didn't know how Longao had managed to scare Wei Lin away, he was certain that Longao couldn't have done it. Shun He, Duan He came to Longao's peak in the middle of the night. If it were you, what would you do? Shin He didn't answer. Instead, he muttered to himself, I just heard someone say that if the king of hell wants you to die at midnight, no one would dare to keep you alive until dawn. Master Long, I want to ask, did you say that? That's right. So what? Looking at the fearless young man, Shun He suddenly laughed. His face was filled with admiration. Longao's talent, potential, strength, and courage were the best of the best. If such a person could appear in the Imperial City, then the Imperial City wouldn't have to worry about not rising up. Longao was the best of the best. However, things were often like this. The more you wanted something, the more you couldn't get it. Master Long, why don't the Dragon Sect and the Imperial City form an alliance? Alliance again. The moment he heard these 2 words, Longao felt his balls ache endlessly. Previously, forming an alliance with the Imperial City was a last resort. After all, there were 3 major forces in front of him. With the Dragon Sect strength, if the 4 major forces counterattacked, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, the situation was completely reversed now. He didn't need to use the Imperial City to restrain the 3 major forces. Because of this, Longao rejected without even thinking, sorry, the Imperial City is too shameless. I don't want to form an alliance with such shameless things. Hearing this, Shun He wasn't angry at all. Instead, he praised him even more. Now that I'm here, I want to see how you're going to kill Duan He. Shun He was even more arrogant. However, Duan He and Longao knew that Shun He had the right to be arrogant. After all, he was a titled Great Emperor. At least in the 9 prefectures, he was the strongest existence. You want to fight? Do you dare to fight? Longao's body exuded a strong self-confidence. His battle intent overflowed into the sky like a rolling sea. Why wouldn't I dare to fight with you? Longao, regardless of the outcome, you will definitely be the strongest person in the 9 prefectures. Hearing the old ancestor's words, Duan He was shocked. If someone else said this, there would definitely be people cursing fiercely. Although Longao had risen strongly and was considered a legendary figure, it seemed a little difficult for him to become the strongest person in the 9 prefectures. However, the imperial city's old ancestor, Shan He, had said it personally. Even if Duan He wanted to refute, he could only keep his mouth shut. Many thanks. The strongest person in the 9 prefectures, Longao, didn't back down at all. Ha ha ha, good good. Longao, being able to fight with you is a great pleasure for me. If I can't defeat you within 30 moves, I will leave immediately. Moreover, from today onwards, the grudges between the Imperial City and the Dragon Sect will be written off. We'll talk about grudges in the future. Duan He was very unhappy because he couldn't understand why the old ancestor would set a 30-move agreement. Could it be that the old ancestor wasn't confident that he could defeat Longao within 30 moves? That was impossible. The old ancestor was a genuine titled Great Emperor, but Longao was just a small saint. The two of them weren't on the same level at all. Not to mention 30 moves. Duan He believed that with the old ancestor's strength, he could easily defeat Longao in 3 moves. Although he was very unwilling, Duan He endured it in the end. He understood the old ancestor's character very well. He didn't like to be interrupted in everything. Even if he was the Imperial City's city lord, he was still nothing in the eyes of the old ancestor. This was the sorrow of the Imperial City's city lord. 30 moves? Hearing Longao's question, Shan He thought that Longao didn't dare to accept the challenge or was afraid. Perhaps Shan He was praising him too much. He smiled and said, 50 moves. If you can withstand 50 moves from me, even if you lose, I believe that your name will spread throughout the world. How could Longao not know what Shan He meant? On the surface, it was beneficial to him, but in reality, it was humiliating him. It was obvious that Shan He was looking down on him. Is 50 moves not enough? How about this? If you can withstand within 100 moves, your name will spread even more. Shaking his head, Longao suddenly said, I only need 3 moves to defeat you. P.S. Chapter 5 is updated at midnight. 1 more chapter will be added tomorrow. 6 chapters tomorrow. Chapter 639. 3 moves? Longao wants to defeat me in 3 moves? Hearing his words, Shan He's expression finally turned cold. Shan He admired Longao very much, but it didn't mean that he had a good temper. Anyone would explode after being ignored and looked down upon by Longao. In Duan He's opinion, Longao was simply courting death. He wanted to defeat the elder ancestor in 3 moves. Not to mention 3 moves, even 300 or 3,000 moves would be like a fool's dream. The difference in strength between Longao and the elder ancestor was like heaven and earth. Longao, do you know that being arrogant is a good thing, but being too arrogant will become conceited? Do you really think you can defeat me in 3 moves? He looked very confident on the surface and his face was full of contempt, but Shan He's heart skipped a beat. The more Longao behaved like this, the less confident Shan He was. Under normal circumstances, it would be a piece of cake for a titled great emperor to kill a saint. But now, Shan He was a little fearful. Not long ago, Longao had just gone to the ethereal palace and killed 2 saints instantly, scaring away Wei Lin the Great. This in itself already showed how powerful Longao was. Shan He knew very well that although Wei Lin the Great of the ethereal palace wasn't as powerful as him, how could he be scared away by a saint? How did Longao scare away Wei Lin the Great back then? Wei Lin the Great didn't mention a word about it, and this battle became an unsolved mystery. Ha ha ha, Shan He, are you afraid? With just a glance, Longao had already guessed what Shan He was thinking. At this moment, Longao took a step forward and said, Shan He, if I can't defeat you in 3 moves, I'll kill myself here immediately. Longao's sudden action gave Shan He and Duan He a fright. The two of them couldn't figure out why Longao was so confident. Could it be that Longao really had the strength to fight against the elder ancestor? Not only Shan He, even Duan He began to mutter in his heart. Shan He glared at Longao. Suddenly, he threw his head back and laughed maniacally. Longao, you don't need to do this. 3 moves is the limit. If you lose, take me as your master, and the dragon sect will be incorporated into the imperial city. From then on, you have to listen to me. If you go back on your word, then be struck by lightning, and your family will die." "No problem." Before the two could speak, Longao asked, "What if you lose within 3 moves?" "Me. It's simple. The Imperial City will be merged into the Dragon Sect. You have to take me as your master. What do you think?" Shun-He hesitated for 3 seconds, but in the end, he nodded in agreement. Because from the beginning to the end, Shun-He didn't believe that Longao could defeat him. What a joke! If he was defeated by a saint, then not to mention becoming his disciple, he might as well commit suicide. Longao and Shun-He did not speak again. The two of them stared at each other. All of a sudden, the two of them moved. For the first move, Longao chose to meet force with force. This was because he also wanted to see how big the gap was between him and a titled Great Emperor with his current strength. In fact, Longao had already guessed that with his current strength, it was impossible for him to be a match for a titled Great Emperor. Of course, Shun-He understood Longao's intention. Because of this, the two of them collided with each other at the fastest speed. Longao's fists suddenly smashed out. The Divine Dragon Arm and the Hell Tiger Arm smashed against Shun-He's fists. A violent wind blew. Longao was directly sent flying by Shun-He's fist. However, with the protection of the desolate divine body and the fact that Shun-He didn't kill him, Longao forcibly stopped himself. At this moment, Longao finally understood the gap between himself and a titled Great Emperor. The gap in cultivation realm was very difficult to make up for with other things. Even the legendary Master Dragon is only The fear from before had completely disappeared. Shun-He could clearly sense that Longao was indeed only a saint. Although he didn't know how Longao scared Wei Ling away back then, with Longao's current strength, it was indeed impossible for Longao to defeat him. Since that was the case, 2 moves were enough. At this moment, a shocking aura of heaven and earth suddenly erupted from Longao's body. Sensing this aura, Shun-He's expression changed. He exclaimed, "Aura of heaven and earth, could you be a rebirth realm martial artist?" Nirvana rebirth. Thinking of these 4 words, Shun-He shuddered. He didn't dare to be careless because he was very clear what the aura of heaven and earth and Nirvana rebirth represented. Immediately after, Longao directly used his self-created martial technique, Sorrow of Heaven and Earth. Not only that, but Longao also borrowed the power of his spirit to suppress Shun-He. In a battle, there was no such thing as shamelessness. Only the winner was king, and the loser was in the wrong. Therefore, Longao directly used the power of his spirit. According to Longao's strength, it was impossible for him to forcefully use the power of his spirit. The reason he could do so was all thanks to Long Fu. Before the battle started, Longao had already communicated with Long Fu. Long Fu had also agreed to help him at the risk of the dragon seal falling into a deep slumber. Therefore, Long Fu could only forcefully use his spirit for 3 seconds at most. 3 seconds was enough. Longao borrowed the power of his spirit, and the might of sorrow of heaven and earth instantly increased by 10 times. A huge tornado swept everything in the surroundings. Seeing this situation, Shun-He and Duan-He were so frightened that they trembled. "Let's go." They didn't dare to linger at all because Shun-He could clearly feel how powerful his opponent's martial technique was. Just a martial technique wasn't enough to scare Shun-He away. However, not only did Longao use the power of heaven and earth, but he also borrowed the power of his spirit. Shun-He wasn't a fool. Of course, he knew that if he continued to fight head-on, only death would await him. How could Longao let go of such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? As long as he killed Shun-He and Duan-He, the Imperial City would lose its backbone. At that time, the other 3 forces would definitely not give up and would definitely deal with the Imperial City. If that was really the case, then he could completely watch the fire burn across the river and reap the benefits in the end. Until now, Shun-He and Duan-He still couldn't figure out how Longao did it. To be able to do this as a saint, Longao was definitely unprecedented. How many people in the world could do this? A saint had scared away a titled Great Emperor twice. Duan-He swallowed his saliva fiercely. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed that the old ancestor would be scared away by Longao. Duan He didn't dare to stop at all. He followed behind Shen He and even used all his strength because he knew that even the old ancestor was afraid of Longao, let alone him. Duan He didn't want to die here. Just like that, Longao chased for a total of 3 seconds before finally stopping abruptly. Longao was very clear that the power of his spirit could only last for 3 seconds. Not to mention continuing to chase. If Shanhe turned around and attacked at this time, he could only run away. P.S. 1:10 in the morning, go to sleep. Chapter 640. Longao didn't seem to be satisfied that he didn't succeed in killing Shen He this time. In order to deal with Shen He this time, Longao even used the power of his spirit. Longao was very clear that if he was the slightest bit careless when using the power of his spirit, the dragon seal, and he would be consigned to eternal damnation. However, the matter was already in front of him. Even if he was extremely unwilling, he could only do so. After returning to the dragon sect, Longao immediately announced to the world what had happened tonight to the entire 9 prefectures. The Imperial City Old Ancestor was scared away by Longao. The Imperial City Old Ancestor couldn't even block Longao's consecutive moves. Once the news was out, everyone in the 9 prefectures was shocked and found it hard to believe. Back then, Longao was able to scare away Wei Lin Great Emperor because Longao had entered the Demon Dao and his strength had increased greatly. But now, since Longao was already awake, his strength should have recovered. Since that was the case, how could Longao scare away a titled Great Emperor? Could it be that Longao had really reached the titled Great Emperor realm? Or perhaps Longao had officially broken through to the Supreme Dao realm and could casually kill a titled Great Emperor? Many people could almost guess that Longao hadn't reached the Supreme Dao realm. Otherwise, how could the Imperial City Old Ancestor have escaped? If that was the case, didn't it mean that the master of the Dragon Sect, Longao, had officially reached the titled Great Emperor realm? With regards to Longao's cultivation speed, countless people sighed endlessly. This kind of cultivation speed could simply be described as monstrous. Even if it was described as unprecedented, it would not be an exaggeration at all. Titled Great Emperor, Longao didn't mind the news from the 9 prefectures at all. It was as if he had tacitly agreed. The more Longao acted like this, the more the 9 prefectures believed that Longao's cultivation had already broken through to the titled Great Emperor realm. If that was the case, wouldn't the Dragon Sect have 3 Great Emperors? Longao, Longao, and the mysterious Great Emperor. In this way, the Dragon Sect had unknowingly become the number 1 force among the 5 major forces. East Imperial City, Long Family, South Nether Mansion, North Ethereal Palace, Middle Dragon Sect. Everyone thought that Longao could defeat the Imperial City Old Ancestor. Longao thought about it and finally decided to let everyone in the family receive the inheritance first. As for the remaining 700 Divine Dao inheritances, they would be dealt with one batch after another. Dragon Sect. Aside from the Long family's disciples, there were no other disciples of the Dragon Sect. Even Dugu Bai and Long Patian weren't present. Because of this, the martial arts field was very harmonious. Ever since Longao's strong rise, the Long family no longer had any intrigue because everyone had one goal, and that was the Dragon Sect. It was still the same sentence. Longao had already become the soul of the family. Grandfather, do you want to say it, or should I? You do it. What's going on? Looking at the grandfather and Longao in front of them, everyone was curious and puzzled. With the rise of Longao's position in the Long family had surpassed Longao. However, Longao was still Longao's grandfather. 7th brother, what's the matter? Smiling, Longao looked at his big brother in front of him and said, Big brother, I'll talk to you alone later. Without waiting for Longing to react, Longao continued, everyone shouldn't be unfamiliar with Deity Realm martial artists, right? Divine Dao warriors. If it was in the past, everyone in the Long family, including Longao, wouldn't know about Divine Dao. However, it was different now. With the rise of Longao, Everyone knew that divine Tao was the strongest existence in the world. Because of this, everyone was even more curious. They didn't know what Longao wanted to say. I'll officially tell everyone one thing. From now on, all of you have divine Tao inheritances. However, no matter what, you can't leak this out. If you find out, not only will you be expelled from the family, but the divine Tao inheritances will also be taken back. Divine Tao inheritances? They had the chance to obtain divine Tao inheritances? Hearing Long Ao's words, everyone was extremely excited. Long Ao handed over the remaining matters to his grandfather. As for himself, he brought his big brother to the other side and said straightforwardly, "Big brother, do you want to obtain divine Tao inheritances?" "Of course. However, seventh brother, I believe you should know that since I've already obtained the old ancestors' inheritance, it seems a little impossible to obtain divine Tao inheritances again." Long Ao nodded. How could he not know about the worries in his big brother's heart? Under normal circumstances, his big brother had already integrated the great emperor's inheritance. It was indeed impossible for him to continue integrating the divine Tao inheritances. However, Long Ao was full of confidence and said, "Big brother, I have a way to strip the great emperor's inheritance from your body and let you integrate the divine Tao inheritances." "Seventh brother, can you really do it?" He didn't seem to believe it. If it was someone else who told him this, Longing would definitely not believe it. However, the person who told him this was his seventh brother. Longing suddenly became excited. Great Emperor's inheritance and divine Tao inheritances. As long as there wasn't water in his brain, he believed that he would choose the divine Tao inheritances and not the so-called Great Emperor's inheritance. Big brother, stripping the Great Emperor's inheritance is incomparably painful. You decide what to do. Once you've made your decision, tell me. Long Ao asked Longing to stay. Although he hoped that his big brother could choose the divine Tao inheritances, the choice was still in his big brother's hands. If his big brother wasn't willing, he wouldn't force him. After his grandfather finished dealing with everyone, Long Ao finally divided all the divine Tao inheritances in the blood pool into 300 divine Tao inheritances and passed them down one by one, without leaving out a single one. If news of them collectively obtaining the inheritances were to spread, it would probably shock the world. Over 1,000 divine Tao inheritances, what kind of concept was that? Long Ao left everything to his grandfather, Long Ao, while he immediately went to the training field. As for his big brother, Long Ao had already left the divine Tao inheritances. As long as his big brother was willing, he could start the inheritance at any time. As for stripping the great emperor's inheritance, he would have to rely on Long Fu's help. He couldn't do that at all. As soon as Long Ao appeared, Dragon Sect welcomed an old acquaintance. To be precise, it was Long Ao's old acquaintance. It could also be said that he was his biggest invisible enemy. Yi Wushuang, Long Ao's senior brother. Back then, Long Ao had promised his master, Fan Tian, that no matter what happened, he would avenge him and kill Yi Wushuang to clean up the sect. Chapter 641. Long Ao was determined to get Yi Wushuang. However, Long Ao knew very well that with his current strength, even with the help of his god soul, he would not be able to kill Yi Wushuang. This did not mean that Yi Wushuang was very powerful. After all, Yi Wushuang was only a titled Great Emperor. Yi Wushuang was not very powerful, but his formations were unparalleled in the world. If he could not kill him in one strike, the consequences would be unimaginable once Yi Wushuang escaped. It was precisely because of this that Long Ao decided to hold back for the time being. When his formation became stronger, he would use it to help his master clean up the sect and take revenge. "Brother Yi, why are you here?" "Brother Long, don't you welcome me?" Yi Wushuang laughed loudly and suddenly said, "Brother Long, you lied to me. So you're only a level 6 Long family disciple, and you even founded the Dragon Sect." Long Ao's heart skipped a beat, and he instantly became vigilant. This was because when he first met Yi Wushuang's intentions were very clear. He became friends with him mainly because he valued him as a disciple of the Long family. Otherwise, Yi Wushuang would not even look at him. Since that was the case, what was Yi Wushuang's purpose for coming here this time? Since Brother Yi already knows, then I'll get straight to the point. I believe Brother Yi knows the rules of the Long family better than me. Not to mention bringing you to the Dragon Valley, even I can't enter the Dragon Valley myself. Since things had already come to this point, Longao chose to lay his cards on the table. If Yi Wushuang wanted to deal with him, then he had no choice but to kill him, even if he could not succeed. However, Yi Wushuang was not angry at all. He smiled and said, "Brother Long, I sincerely treat you as a friend, so I don't want to hide it from you. F*CKU." He cursed internally. How could Long Ao not know Yi Wushuang's character? He knew what kind of person Yi Wushuang was, a shameless person who deceived his master and destroyed his ancestors. Brother Long, I really didn't expect that the dragon sect you led would be able to suppress the 4 great forces. Just this alone is enough for you to look down on the 9 provinces, even if you're not from the Long family. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to call you the number 1 person in the 9 provinces. He secretly scoffed and despised Yi Wushuang even more. Brother Yi, are you saying that if I wasn't a disciple of a Long family, you wouldn't treat me as a friend? Ha ha ha, Brother Long, you're joking. No matter what, you'll always be my friend. Brother Yi, is there something you need this time? He did not want to continue talking nonsense because Long Ao had no idea what Yi Wushuang's motive was at all. Long Ao knew nothing about Yi Wushuang because he could not see Yi Wushuang's true face until now. Was Yi Wushuang a titled Great Emperor or a supreme Dao martial artist? Just what level had Yi Wushuang's formation skills reached? The level of array formation was the same as the level of alchemy. From the lowest level to the highest, the array masters were divided into level 1 array master, level 2 array master, level 3 array master, level 4 array master, level 5 array master, level 6 array master, level 8 array master, level 9 array master. Above level 9 were king-level array masters, emperor-level array masters, supreme-level array masters, emperor-level array masters, and god-level array masters. His master, Fentian, was at the peak of the emperor level. He was only 1 step away from becoming a god-level array master. However, Long Ao knew very well that it was just a small step. The difference between an emperor-level array master and a god-level array master was like heaven and earth. It was a chasm that was difficult to cross. What level of formation master was Yi Wushuang? According to his master, Yi Wushuang was a supreme-level array master back then. If nothing unexpected happened, after so many years of cultivation, he believed that Yi Wushuang had already broken through to the emperor-level array master. He was only 1 step away from officially breaking through to the god-level array master. An emperor-level array master. Long Ao naturally knew what an emperor-level array master meant. Long Ao thought that he was an extremely talented array master, but even so, he was only a level 9 array master. He had not even reached the king level. Once an emperor-level array master set up a formation, it was enough to easily destroy the 4 great forces. It was precisely because of this that Long Ao was unwilling to make a move at this time, unless it was absolutely necessary. Could it be that he had to rely on the ancestor? For some reason, Long Ao had a feeling that even if the ancestor made a move, he would not be able to keep Yi Wushuang. If he let Yi Wushuang go so easily, there would be great trouble in the future. Brother Long, I treat you as a friend, so I would like to ask you for a favor. I wonder if you are willing to help me. Brother Yi, please speak. Actually, this matter is very simple. I want a drop of dragon blood. Dragon blood? Without a doubt, Long Ao had already guessed that Yi Wushuang must have known that he was a dragon warrior. He was furious. How could Long Ao not know that Yi Wushuang did not take him seriously at all? Otherwise, Yi Wushuang would not have dared to ask for dragon blood from him. Dragon warriors treated giant dragons as their companions and brothers. Although Long Ao was very afraid of Yi Wushuang, it was impossible for him to agree to this matter. Therefore, he refused without hesitation. Brother Yi, if it were anything else, I might consider it. However, I will never agree to this matter. Before Yi Wushuang could continue, Long Ao said, Brother Yi, I believe you should know that as a dragon warrior, my companion is my brother. It's impossible for me to give you his dragon blood. Brother Long, I know that this is a little difficult, but I really need this drop of dragon blood. Brother Yi, there's something I don't understand. With Brother Ye's strength and formation skills, it should be easy for you to kill a giant dragon. Why? Longao was very puzzled. Yi Wushuang was a titled martial artist, and he might even be a divine Dao martial artist. In that case, with Yi Wushuang's strength, it should not be difficult for him to kill a giant dragon. Since that was the case, why would Yi Wushuang ask for dragon blood from him? It was unnecessary. Brother Long, there's something you don't know. I want to enter the Dragon Valley, so I can't offend the dragon tribe. Therefore, I can't kill a giant dragon. Moreover, I only need a drop of dragon blood. It's very unkind of me to kill a giant dragon for a drop of dragon blood. Long Ao snorted coldly in his heart. He would not believe Yi Wushuang's words, but he still did not know what Yi Wushuang meant. Long Ao knew very well that even if he asked, he believed that Yi Wushuang would not tell him. If he casually made up a lie, should he believe it or not? Brother Long, I know this is very difficult for you. How about this? As long as you agree to give me a drop of dragon blood, I can exchange it with something. How about that? Chapter 642. An item? Long Ao did not express his opinion immediately because he wanted to see what treasure Yi Wushuang had taken out. Yi Wushuang smiled and took out a bottle from his pocket. He looked at Long Ao mysteriously. Brother Yi, I wonder what's in the bottle? 100 drops of blood from different dragons. F***CK. Although Long Ao had guessed countless possibilities, he did not expect that there would be 100 drops of dragon blood in the small bottle that Yi Wushuang took out. 100 drops of dragon blood. Did that not mean that Yi Wushuang had to find 100 dragons of different races to collect 100 drops of dragon blood? That seemed a little too difficult. Brother Dragon, strictly speaking, there are already 99 drops of blood from different dragons in the bottle. I only need the last drop to collect 100 drops of dragon blood to refine the Divine Dragon Pill. Divine Dragon Pill. Long Ao was not unfamiliar with the Divine Dragon Pill at all, because the Divine Dragon Pill itself was a kind of legendary medicinal pill. Although the Divine Dragon Pill was extremely powerful, it was extremely difficult to refine. First of all, it required 100 drops of dragon blood, and not everyone could collect all of them. It was precisely because of that Long Ao was a little surprised. He did not expect Yi Wushuang to have really collected 99 drops of dragon blood. No wonder he was so anxious to get his drop of blood. Brother Yi, I still don't understand. Since you've already obtained 99 drops of dragon blood, is there no way to get the last drop? Yi Wushuang sighed deeply and said helplessly, Brother Dragon, you don't know this. In order to obtain 100 drops of blood from different dragons, I traveled all over the world and finally obtained 99 drops of dragon blood. However, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find the blood of the 100th type of dragon. If that's the case, how do you know that my dragon partner is definitely the 100th type of dragon? Long Ao was even more curious about this. Yi Wushuang smiled and said, Brother Dragon, I've already sensed your aura. The dragon aura on your body has clearly told me that your dragon partner doesn't belong to any of the 99 types of dragons. So, although Yi Wushuang did not finish his sentence, the meaning in his words was very clear. Hearing these words, Long Ao was also shocked in his heart. If he was not mistaken, Yi Wushuang must have known that he was a dragon warrior the first time they met and sensed the little guy's aura. It seemed like Yi Wushuang was indeed a terrifying enemy. Seeing that Long Ao was silent, Yi Wushuang proceeded to speak. Brother Long, if you can give me the last drop of dragon blood, I can promise you that you'll get one as soon as I get someone to refine the Divine Dragon Pill. What do you think? 1 drop of dragon blood in exchange for 1 Divine Dragon Pill. He believed that no matter who it was, no one would be able to resist such a temptation. However, Long Ao didn't even think about it and refused. Brother Yi, I'm still unable to agree to this. I'll still say the same thing. The little guy is my companion and my brother. I can't possibly harm my brother for a divine dragon pellet. Rejected? Hearing that Long Ao had actually rejected him, Yi Wushuang's expression instantly turned cold. Killing intent surged from his body as he stared fixedly at Long Ao. In the end, Yi Wushuang endured it. Yi Wushuang sneered and said, Brother Long, I treat you as a friend, but you treat me as an enemy. Before Longao could speak, Yi Wushuang said, "Brother Long, I hope you'll think carefully about whether you're a friend or a brother." Yi Wushuang was obviously threatening him, but Longao lowered his head and fell into deep thought. It was not that Longao was afraid of Yi Wushuang, but he knew very well that Yi Wushuang would deal with his family and sect if he did not take out the little guy's dragon blood. If it was just Yi Wushuang alone, Longao would not be afraid at all. However, the problem now was that Yi Wushuang was at least an emperor-level formation master. If Yi Wushuang wanted to deal with him and set up a formation, it would be troublesome. What should he choose? Brother Long, as long as you can give me the last drop of dragon blood, other than promising to give you a divine dragon pill, I'll also promise you a chance. No matter when, as long as you're in trouble, I'll help you once. How about that? At this point, Longao knew that if he did not agree, it would immediately trigger a huge battle. However, now was not the time to fall out with Yi Wushuang. Nodding, Longao finally chose to agree. Long Chong did not refuse at all because in this world, the only person who could obtain the dragon blood was Longao. If it was anyone else, the consequences could be imagined. Brother Yi, this is the little guy's dragon blood. After receiving the dragon blood, Yi Wushuang suppressed the excitement within him and nodded. He said, "Brother Long, I'll definitely remember this kindness. I won't go back on the 2 conditions that I promised you earlier. Goodbye." After obtaining the last drop of dragon blood, Yi Wushuang was clearly impatient. He could not wait to leave immediately to refine the divine dragon pill. Just like that, Yi Wushuang turned around and left. In the blink of an eye, he had already disappeared without a trace. Looking at the disappearing figure, Longao was not angry at all. Instead, he smiled. That's right, Longao was indeed smiling. Within the dragon seal space. "Master, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you. As long as we can obtain 100 drops of dragon blood, you can refine the divine dragon pill. At that time, your cultivation will be enough to break through to the Earth Saint stage." Longao nodded. He was also looking forward to the divine dragon pill. Chapter 643. Longao. Looking at the empty bottle, Yi Wushuang was enraged to the extreme. Yi Wushuang instantly understood what had happened. Could it be that Longao was behind this? Yi Wushuang did not want to believe it at all because Longao's strength was obvious. He was only a small saint. He could even easily kill Longao with a flick of his finger. If it were not for the fact that Longao was still useful, Yi Wushuang would not have spoken so nicely. "Longao, I'll make you die a graveless death." Yi Wushuang immediately turned around and returned to Longao Peak. When he saw Longao, Yi Wushuang suppressed the anger and killing intent in his heart and snorted coldly, "Longao, hand over 100 drops of dragon blood. Otherwise, I'll slaughter Longao Peak and not leave a single one alive." Longao had a curious look on his face. He pretended to ask, "Brother Yi, what exactly happened?" Pretending. Seeing Longao's innocent face, Yi Wushuang had the urge to kill him. He had spent countless efforts to obtain 100 drops of dragon blood, but now he had given it to someone else. Not to mention Yi Wushuang. No matter who it was, they would not be able to accept this. "Longao, my 100 drops of dragon blood are missing. Isn't it your doing?" Helplessly spreading out his hands and shrugging his shoulders, Longao said, "Brother Yi, you think too highly of me. With your strength, even if I wanted to obtain 100 drops of dragon blood, I'm afraid it would be impossible." Yi Wushuang fell into deep thought because what Longao had just said was also what he was thinking. Because with his strength, not to mention that the other party was just a small saint, even a titled great emperor would not be able to take away 100 drops of dragon blood from him without anyone noticing. "Brother Yi, I just want to ask you one thing. When you left just now, were the 100 drops of dragon blood still there?" "Yes, that's it. When you left, the 100 drops of dragon blood were still there, but I didn't follow you. Now that you've lost 100 drops of dragon blood, you're blaming me. Isn't this a little unreasonable?" Of course, he couldn't justify it. Yi Wushuang understood that as well. However, no matter what, the 100 drops of dragon blood had indeed disappeared. He had spent countless years collecting the 100 drops of dragon blood with great difficulty. How could he take it lying down that it had disappeared into thin air? If it wasn't Longao, then who could it be? In reality, Yu Shuang only suspected Longao from the beginning until the end because he firmly believed that Longao could not do that. After all, Longao's ability was too weak, and there was a world of difference between them. Brother Yi, why don't I send someone to help you look around? Waving his hand, Yu Shuang did not even want to say anything more. He turned around and left quickly. Yu Shuang wanted to curse. With his ability, the fact that the other party could take away 100 drops of dragon blood without anyone noticing showed how terrifying the other party's ability was. Even he couldn't do it, let alone the disciples of the dragon sect. After Yu Shuang left, Longao smiled again. Longao had already expected such an outcome. He was overjoyed and immediately returned to the secret chamber to take out the 100 drops of dragon blood. Longao was extremely excited. He had to admit that the soul slaves refined by Long Fu were simply too strange and mysterious. Even with Yu Shuang's ability, he was unable to discover the existence of the soul slaves. One could only imagine. Looking at the 100 drops of dragon blood, Longao was a little worried. Divine Dragon Pellet? He also hoped to be able to refine the Divine Dragon Pellet. Moreover, he had already collected all 100 drops of dragon blood, which could be considered a super bargain. Otherwise, just collecting 100 drops of dragon blood would not be an easy task. Although he already had 100 drops of dragon blood, refining the Divine Dragon Pill wasn't something that could be done with words alone. An alchemist was no different from a formation master. Alchemists were divided into Level 1 Alchemist, Level 2 Alchemist, Level 3 Alchemist, Level 4 Alchemist, Level 5 Alchemist, Level 6 Alchemist, Level 7 Alchemist, Level 8 Alchemist, and Level 9 Alchemist. Above Level 9 Alchemists were King-level Alchemists, Emperor-level Alchemists, Venerable-level Alchemists, Emperor-level Alchemists, and Divine-level Alchemists. Longao knew very well that to successfully refine the Divine Dragon Pill, one would need a peak Emperor-level Alchemist at the very least. Even so, it would be very difficult for a peak Emperor-level Alchemist to refine the Divine Dragon Pill. In other words, only a Divine-level Alchemist could have full confidence in successfully refining the so-called Divine Dragon Pill. However, he was only an Emperor-level Alchemist. There was still a long way to go before he could become a Divine-level Alchemist. As for Yu Shuang, Longao was also sure that Yu Shuang was not an alchemist. The reason why Yu Shuang collected 100 drops of dragon blood was because he wanted to ask someone to help him refine it. The Divine Dragon Pill could be considered one of the most powerful medicinal pills in the world. Longao had calculated that if he could refine the Divine Dragon Pill and swallow it, not only would his cultivation be able to instantly break through to the Earth Saint realm, it would also be of great help to his future cultivation. However, Longao also understood that with his current alchemy skills, he would probably not be able to successfully refine it. It seemed that he could only look at 100 drops of dragon blood, but could not refine it. With a deep sigh, just as Longao was about to give up and take out 100 drops of dragon blood to refine the so-called Divine Dragon Pill after he became a Divine-level alchemist, Longao suddenly heard Long Fu's summon. Although he was surprised, Longao still entered the Dragon Seal space. Long Fu, what's the matter? Master, with your current alchemy skills, you still can't refine the Divine Dragon Pill. Since that's the case, why don't you take out 100 drops of dragon blood and help the little guy? What do you mean? Hearing Long Fu's words, Longao was very curious. He did not know what Long Fu meant. Of course, he knew who Long Fu was referring to. The two little guys. The little guy that Long Fu was talking about was definitely Long Chong and not Long Ming. What did he mean by taking out 100 drops of dragon blood to help Long Chong? Master, listen to me. The 100 drops of dragon blood that Yu Shuang collected are all the blood of powerful giant dragons. Moreover, they are the blood of different dragon tribes. Very few people can do this. For every member of the dragon tribe, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Similarly, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the little guy. Long Fu, what kind of opportunity is this? Stop pretending to be obedient. Longao was extremely depressed. Long Fu had always been like this, causing him to be in a mess. He wished that he could speak on behalf of Long Fu. Long Fu thought for a moment and suddenly said, I can help Master refine 100 drops of dragon blood and let the little guy fuse with it. At that time, the little guy will undergo a second mutation. Not only will his cultivation speed increase, but also his strength. I believe the little guy will become an ancient divine dragon. Ancient divine dragon? What was that? Long Fu, make it clear. What is an ancient divine dragon? What is a second mutation? Longao was looking forward to it because he knew that what Long Fu said was an opportunity for the little guy. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Chapter 644. Master, the first clan of the Dragon Clan is not the old master, but the primordial divine dragon. It was the first time Long Fu had heard of what Longao had said. Everyone knew that the most powerful clan of the Dragon Clan was the so-called primordial divine dragon, the ancestor of the Dragon Clan. He had disappeared not long ago and was killed by the heavenly Tao. However, Long Fu was telling him that the first divine dragon of the Dragon Clan was not the primordial divine dragon, but the so-called primordial divine dragon. Primordial divine dragon? Master, I know it's hard for you to believe, but I still have to tell you that the primordial divine dragon has never appeared. Therefore, no one in the world knows about the primordial divine dragon. Nodding, Longao already understood what Long Fu meant. Long Fu could use 100 drops of dragon blood to turn Long Chong into a primordial divine dragon. It would be a lie if he was not happy. Long Fu, what should I do? There's no need. Leave the little guy to me. When the 100 drops of dragon blood are condensed and fused with the little guy will become a primordial divine dragon. Nodding, Longao did not stay any longer. According to Long Fu, the condensation of 100 drops of dragon blood had to begin immediately because the process was very complicated and difficult. Longao knew very well that if it were not for Long Fu's help, even if someone else could obtain 100 drops of dragon blood, it would be impossible to condense and create a primordial divine dragon. Everything was because of Long Fu's help. It was precisely because of this that Longao was looking forward to Long Chong's growth. He was looking forward to the day when Long Chong became a primordial divine dragon. After leaving the secret chamber, Longao did not relax at all because he did not know when Yu Wushuang would return. Back then, Yu Wushuang had been temporarily tricked by him to leave, but no one could guarantee that Yu Wushuang would not understand. However, Longao knew that Yu Wushuang was very confident in his strength. He was unwilling to believe that he could take 100 drops of dragon blood from him without anyone noticing. 9-State Spirit Region, Imperial City. Slap. Shun He ruthlessly slapped Duan He in the face and coldly said, "Trash, idiot." Despite being slapped, Duan He didn't dare to say anything. He didn't even dare to reveal the slightest bit of truth. He knelt on the ground while trembling with fear. Forefather. Shut up. Duan Kaisen sighed deeply. He could only take a step back. The great ancestor had taken action personally. Even he could not change the situation. Duan He, as the city lord of the Imperial City, you almost led the Imperial City to destruction. Let me ask you, how can you face the ancestors of the Imperial City? Ancestor, I was wrong. Duan He's body was trembling slightly. That was because Duan He didn't know whether or not the ancestor would directly kill him out of anger. When Longao first appeared, you knew that he wasn't simple. Why didn't you kill him then? Can I? Of course, Duan He didn't dare to ask. After all, the situation back then was different. The 4 major forces were fighting openly and covertly. If the Imperial City went all out, it would definitely give the other 3 major forces an opportunity to take advantage of. Could it be that he had really done something wrong? Duan He didn't think that he had done anything wrong. Therefore, Duan He carefully told the great ancestor his thoughts in full detail. After listening, Shun He didn't say anything. That was because he knew that Duan He, as the city lord of the Imperial City, did not do anything wrong. His mistake was that the 4 major forces were fighting openly and covertly. It gave the dragon sect a chance to develop, and it also gave Longao a chance to grow. Forget it. Get up. It's not your fault. Hearing the great ancestor's words, Duan He let out a long sigh of relief. It was really a trip to the gates of hell. It was too thrilling. Duan He was also very suspicious. What was wrong with the great ancestor today? Standing up, Duan He asked softly, Great ancestor, what should we do now? With a deep sigh, Shun He said helplessly, What else can we do? The dragon sect has already developed to the point where they can compete with us. Longao, Longao, and the mysterious warrior. In this way, the dragon sect has a total of 3 great emperors. If we fight them head-on, we will be the ones at a disadvantage in the end. Although he didn't want to admit it, Shun He knew that the dragon sect and Longao had indeed grown to the point where the imperial city couldn't fight them head-on. Moreover, Shun He wasn't stupid enough to fight the dragon sect head-on. It would give the other 3 major forces an opportunity to take advantage of the situation. Duan He and Duan Kai were also somewhat unwilling. But since the great ancestor had said so, what else could they do? Spirit region of the 9 states, 3rd grade Long family hall. Long Yin and Long Mao's expressions were also ugly. Both of them already knew that Long Ao had scared away Shen He. Back then, when Long Ao scared away Wei Ling, it might have been an accident. But one accident was an accident. Could 2 accidents still be an accident? Patriarch, the strength of Long Ao and the dragon sect is already there. Although the ethereal palace, the nether mansion, and the imperial city haven't said much, I have already received news that the 3 major forces have already given up on fighting Long Ao head-on. They have given up the 9 states to the dragon sect. Don't tell me that the 3 major forces don't want to find the grave of the gods anymore? With a deep sigh, Long Yin said helplessly, Patriarch, even if we want to enter the 9 states now, I'm afraid it's not very possible. With the dragon sect's current strength, even if the 4 of us join forces and attack with all our strength, I'm afraid it won't be possible. Long Yin didn't finish his words, but the meaning in his words was very clear. Long Mao nodded and said, I also didn't expect Long Ao to develop so quickly. It's too fast. He didn't even give me a chance to react. Long Yin nodded in agreement. Regarding Long Ao's talent and potential, he had to admit that Long Ao had indeed achieved something unprecedented. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to call him the #1 person in the 9 states. Patriarch, what should we do now? Yesterday, the old ancestor came to me. No matter what happens next, we can't fight against the dragon sect. We have to completely seal the passage. From now on, we have nothing to do with the 9 states. No one from the imperial city is allowed to leave the spirit domain of the 9 states. Hearing the patriarch's words, Long Yin was shocked. He had already guessed that with Long Ao's strength, the old ancestor wouldn't be willing to continue fighting against the dragon sect. However, Long Yin didn't expect the old ancestor to seal the passage and forbid the imperial city's disciples from entering the 9 states. What did this mean? The old ancestor's meaning was very simple. He wanted the imperial city to completely withdraw from the battle for supremacy and give the 9 states to the dragon sect. He didn't even want the grave of the gods. The 4 major forces had fought for the grave of the gods for countless years. But because of a young man who had just risen, they chose to give it up. Was this true? Seeing the patriarch's helpless and disappointed face, Long Yin didn't say anything in the end. P.S. Chapter 6, delivered after midnight. Chapter 645. The 4 forces sealed the teleportation portal at the same time. What were the 4 forces trying to do? Everyone was puzzled. They did not know what was wrong with the East Royal City, the Long family of the West, the Nether Mansion of the South, and the Ethereal Palace of the North. Why did they seal the teleportation portals? Did the 4 forces want to withdraw from the Battle of the 9 States? Not only did the 4 forces seal all the teleportation portals, they even summoned all their disciples back. The meaning was simple. The 4 forces had withdrawn from the 9 states. In other words, the dragon sect was the only overlord of the 9 states. As for Long Ao, he had become the most powerful person in the 9 states. Long Ao was not surprised by the actions of the 4 major forces because they had already guessed the actions of the 4 major forces. Long Ao did not care about the 4 forces. He was fully focused on the 9 states. Longao had decided not to care about the four forces for now. He could use this opportunity to develop the strength of the dragon sect. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the dragon sect. In the following period of time, Longao developed the strength of the dragon sect while secretly allowing the 300 members of his family to receive the inheritance. In the end, Longing chose to strip the inheritance of the great emperor and chose the inheritance of the divine Tao. From then on, the 9 states and the 9-state spirit domain were completely peaceful. The 4 forces were still the overlords of the 9-state spirit domain. However, the 9 states had a new master and the dragon sect was the only overlord. According to Longao's decision, he was going to let Long Fu refine a few divine souls to help him break through to the saint realm. However, Long Fu could not care less now. The reason was simple. Long Fu was concentrating on refining the 100 drops of blood to help Long Chong evolve and become an ancient divine dragon. Because of this, Longao put this matter aside for the time being. A beginner saint could barely break through to the middle saint realm through cultivation. However, Longao spent a whole month to consolidate this realm. The 8 realms of the illusionary divine realm were divided into the half-saint realm, sage realm, earth sage realm, sky sage realm, king sage realm, holy venerable realm, and holy emperor realm. Standing on the peak of Longao mountain, Longao felt the power of nature. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew. At this moment, Longao's lips curled into a sneer. His entire body began to spin as he used his self-created martial technique, Sorrow of the Heavens and Earth. The aura of heaven and earth enveloped the area as 2 figures appeared. Both of them were very powerful and were genuine earth saint cultivators. The combined might of 2 earth saint cultivators was not to be underestimated. Longao did not dare to be careless, because he had no idea who these 2 earth saint cultivators were. Longao did not know who these 2 earth saint cultivators were. 2 earth saint realm martial artists from the 4 great forces? Longao instantly denied his guess because he knew that the 4 forces had already sealed off the teleportation channel. Their attitude was very clear. They were unwilling to continue fighting with him. Since that was the case, why did the 4 forces still want to assassinate him? Besides, as everyone knew, there were 3 martial monarchs in the sect, including himself. Wasn't it suicide to send out 2 Earth, sacred realm cultivators? Therefore, Longao directly denied the guess in his heart. Since the 2 Earth Saints were not from the 4 major forces, then who were they? At this moment, Longao could not be bothered to continue guessing. He used all his strength to fight against the 2 Earth Saints. Longao was very confident in his own strength. Even if he was facing an Earth Saint, he could still escape if he could not win. But now, with 2 Earth Saints joining forces, how could he resist? However, Longao was such a person. He clearly knew that he was no match for 2 Earth Saints, but Longao still clenched his teeth and fought. His bloodsucker blade instantly slashed out. Within the tornado, the aura of heaven and earth firmly suppressed the 2. The 2 Earth Saints covered their faces, so it was impossible to see clearly. However, the 2 of them were very strong. Longao's chi of heaven and earth was unable to suppress the 2 of them. Just like that, the 3 of them fought fiercely within the tornado. Pressure. Still pressure. Under the suppression of the 2 Earth Saints, the energy that Longao had absorbed earlier was slowly compressed and quickly fused. Then, it fused into every part of his body. Then, Longao, who had just broken through to the intermediate saint realm, continued to break through to the advanced saint realm under the powerful suppression. Under normal circumstances, who knew how long it would take for Longao to break through to the advanced saint realm from the intermediate saint realm, not to mention consolidating his foundation as an advanced saint. However, it was precisely because of the suppression of the 2 Earth Saints that Longao was able to stabilize his foundation as an advanced saint in just a few minutes. But in this way, Longao was gradually unable to resist. At this moment, the 2 Earth Saints suddenly weakened their attacks, causing Longao to be very puzzled. He did not know what the 2 were trying to do. Longao was forced to retreat step by step. The suppression of the 2 Earth Saints was too strong, causing Longao to be suppressed everywhere. He had just broken through to the advanced saint realm, but suddenly, his foundation loosened again. His cultivation had broken through again and again from the intermediate saint realm to the advanced saint realm. Moreover, he had broken through to the peak saint realm at this time. It would be a lie to say that he was not happy. But at this moment, Longao did not have the chance to be happy at all. Because the two Earth Saints had joined forces, if he relaxed even a little, he would be killed instantly. In fact, Longao was very curious. Ordinary Earth Saints would not be able to force him to the point where he could not fight back. However, the strength of these two Earth Saints was completely different. They were very powerful, especially when they joined forces. No matter how much strength he exerted, it was useless. Was he an Earth Saint? Longao had an illusion that the two Earth Saints he was fighting with were not Earth Saints at all. They seemed to be Saint Kings, Saint Emperors, or even Great Emperors. Longao knew that this was his illusion, but since things had already reached this point, he did not dare to be careless. Just like that, Longao was suppressed by the two sage-to-be martial artists. Unknowingly, 6 hours had passed. His cultivation base had broken through to the senior saint realm from the intermediate saint realm at the beginning, and then to the peak saint realm. He was only one step away from the Earth Sage realm. Earth Saint. Longao suddenly felt that the saint core in his body had begun to shatter. He was overjoyed because if a saint wanted to break through to the Earth Saint realm, they would first have to shatter their own saint core and fuse all the energy together. Just like this, Longao's cultivation soared, and the two Earth Saints did not kill him. They only fiercely suppressed Longao, suppressing him with just the right amount of strength. Pung! With a loud sound, Longao was sent flying. The two Earth Saints did not follow up with another attack and just disappeared into thin air. Forcibly stopping, Longao's face was filled with joy. His body was trembling with excitement. Looking at the divine soul that had suddenly appeared in front of him, he thanked, "Many thanks to old ancestor for your help." Chapter 646. Long Batian nodded approvingly and said with satisfaction, "In just a few hours, you were able to break through to the Earth Sage realm. This shows your talent and potential." Long Batian heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that his guess was right. The two Earth Sage experts were arranged by the old ancestor. Long Batian knew what the old ancestor meant. The old ancestor wanted to make use of the two Earth Sage experts to suppress him so that he could break through to the Earth Sage realm. Long Batian knew that under normal circumstances, he would need at least 2 years to break through to the Earth Sage realm. At the very least, he would need a year. But now, in just 6 hours, his cultivation had broken through to the Earth Sage realm. This was something that he would never have dared to think about in the past. Aoer, I can only help you this much. From now on, whether you can break through to the Earth Sage realm will depend on yourself. Old ancestor, I understand. Long Batian was already very grateful to the old ancestor. Long Batian thought for a while and said, "Aoer, now that the 4 great organizations have retreated from the 9 regions, they have chosen to avoid you. Why don't you take this opportunity to raise your strength?" Hearing this, Long Batian wanted to laugh and cry. How could he not want to raise his strength quickly? However, Long Batian knew that he had just broken through to the Earth Sage realm, and it would not be easy for him to raise his strength any further. The 8th level of the illusionary divine realm. He was only in the Earth Sage realm and was still a long way from the peak of the illusionary divine realm, which was the so-called Sage Emperor. However, Long Batian was not a fool. Since the old ancestor had said so, could it be that the old ancestor had a way to help him raise his strength quickly? If that was the case, he could not ask for more. Old ancestor, do you have a way? Nodding his head, Long Batian said, "Aoer, although this method can allow you to raise your cultivation greatly in the shortest amount of time, it is very dangerous. If you are not careful, you will lose your life." Long Batian did not continue speaking, but the meaning behind his words was very clear. However, Longao did not even think about it and said directly, "Old ancestor, I'm not afraid of any difficulties." Long Batian seemed to have guessed that Longao would say this, because he knew his disciple very well. Long Batian was unyielding and would never give up. Ancestor, what should I do? I can't help you. You should go find Master God Diviner. I'm sure he'll tell you what to do. Nodding, Longao stabilized his cultivation a little. Then, after making arrangements for the dragon sect, he immediately headed to the outer sea. If there was a teleportation array, it would only take a few seconds to go back and forth. However, the situation was completely different now. God knew how long it would take to go from Tianzhou to the outer sea. Longao did a rough calculation. If he wanted to travel from Tianzhou to the outer sea, especially the Crystal Palace at the bottom of the outer sea, he would need around 3 months. That would take half a year to travel back and forth, and that was not even counting the time he had wasted. Shrugging helplessly, Longao could only choose to go. His cultivation had successfully broken through to the Earth Saint realm. If he wanted to continue breaking through, it seemed that he could only find Master God Diviner. Longao knew very well that although the Dragon Sect had become the #1 sect in the 9 states, the 4 great powers were still eyeing them covetously. No one knew when the 4 great powers would attack the sect. It was because of this that Longao was somewhat impatient. He wanted to increase his strength as quickly as possible. The 9 states were Tianzhou, Earthzhou, Sunzhou, Moonzhou, Sunsetzhou, Cloudzhou, Crimsonzhou, Huanzhou, and Black Forest-zhou. After 2 months of traveling, Longao had already entered the Huanzhou, which was at the border. In other words, he would officially reach the outer sea in 10 days or so. From there, he would enter the seabed and head directly to the Crystal Palace. Within the Huanzhou, Longao had just stepped into the Huanzhou and arrived at a dense forest. His face turned cold as he said, "Since you've been following me for so long, why don't you come out?" Hee, Longao, your senses are really strong. You can even sense this. It seems that your strength has improved again. Seemingly surprised, Tong Linger walked out with a smile. After thinking for a while, she said, "Longao, I really didn't expect that in just a few months, your cultivation would have broken through to the Earth Saint realm. It seems that it won't be long before you officially reach the Great Emperor realm." Seeing Tong Linger suddenly appear, Longao finally let out a sigh of relief. Along the way, he had always felt that someone was following him. Longao thought that it was a powerful cultivator from the 4 great powers who wanted to assassinate him. He never thought that it would be Tong Linger. "Why are you here?" Tong Linger was Yu Yin's junior sister, so Longao had a good impression of her. Moreover, if it wasn't for Tong Linger's timely appearance during the battle at the Ethereal Palace, he believed that he wouldn't be standing here now. Tong Linger snorted coldly and said unhappily, "What's wrong? Can I come?" Hearing this, Longao's face froze. Women are really unreasonable. Not continuing to dwell on this issue, Longao asked, "You can come. You came to find me?" "Yes, I came to pass you a message and tell you about senior sister. But you have to promise me one thing. Otherwise, I won't tell you." "What is it?" Longao didn't immediately agree. Tong Linger was a mischievous girl. Who knew what she wanted him to promise? If she wanted him to commit suicide, would he have to agree? As if she could see Longao's thoughts, Tong Linger smiled and said, "Longao, my request is very simple. As long as you promise me that you will let me follow you from now on, I will tell you about senior sister. How about it?" "I see." Logically speaking, what Tong Linger said wasn't a big problem. If it was under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be a problem at all. But now, the situation was different. He had to go to the outer sea and find the clairvoyant. The old ancestor had already said that this matter was very dangerous. The slightest carelessness could cost him his life. If he brought Tong Linger along and something happened to Tong Linger, how was he going to explain it to Yuan? Because of this, Longao didn't even think about it and rejected directly. "Tong Linger, it's not a problem to follow me, but you have to go back to the Dragon Sect and wait for me. And I have to do something important, so I can't bring you along." So, without waiting for Longao to speak, Tong Linger snorted and said, "Fine. It's fine if you don't bring me along, but I don't think I need to tell you about senior sister's matter. All right, you go to your thing. I still have very important things to do, so I won't bother you. Goodbye." Chapter 647. Tong Linger turned around and was about to leave, not even giving Longao a chance to speak. Things had already reached this stage. Would Longao still allow Tong Linger to leave? If it were anything else, Longao would definitely not be willing to know. However, if it was about Yuin, Longao would definitely not miss it. With spatial teleportation, Longao's figure instantly appeared in front of Tong Linger. She was very surprised. Looking at the figure that suddenly appeared in front of her, Tong Linger was very curious and asked, "How did you do it?" Tong Linger was a titled Great Emperor, and Longao was only an Earth Sage. Therefore, Tong Linger did not believe that Longao's speed could be faster than hers. "Tong Linger, if I let you follow me, you have to tell me about Yuin. Now, there is an additional condition. You have to tell me how you did it just now." You. Without waiting for Longao to speak, Tong Linger smiled and said, "Right now, I have the initiative. If you want to know what senior sister wants to bring you, then you have to be obedient." Otherwise, Tong Linger did not finish her sentence, but the meaning in her words was very clear. Although Longao was very angry and helpless, just as Tong Linger had said, she had the initiative now, so he could only agree. Ever since Yuin had left, Longao had rarely been able to obtain information about Yuin. Now that he finally had it, how could he give up such an opportunity? "I cultivate a spatial martial technique that can achieve short-distance teleportation. Tell me, what message did Yuin want you to bring me?" "Can I cultivate it?" No. Longao did not even consider spatial teleportation. This was not to say that he was stingy, but spatial teleportation required the 9 revolving samsara technique as a foundation. Otherwise, forcefully cultivating it would only harm oneself. Because of this, ever since Longao had obtained the spatial teleportation, he had never taught it to anyone. Helplessly shrugging her shoulders and sticking out her tongue, Tong Linger smiled and said, "Stingy brat, it's just a spatial martial skill. Let me tell you, in my sect, there are many powerful martial skills. If it wasn't for my lack of strength, I would have learned them long ago." Longao's heart skipped a beat when he heard Tong Linger's words. Even Tong Linger was not qualified to practice martial arts? What kind of existence was the sect that Tong Linger and Yuin belonged to? Of course, Longao knew Tong Linger's strength. She was a titled Great Emperor. It was because of this that he was even more shocked. If Tong Linger wasn't qualified to cultivate martial skills with her strength, wouldn't that mean that only Divine Dao martial artists were qualified to cultivate martial skills? The more this was the case, the more curious Longao was. It seemed that the sect behind Yuin was not to be underestimated. Longao did not ask about the sect because he was very clear that if Tong Linger was willing to tell him, there was no need for him to ask. He believed that Tong Linger would tell him. If Tong Linger was not willing to tell him, then no matter what he said, he believed that Tong Linger would not tell him. "Since you have already promised me, then I will reluctantly tell you. Listen carefully. Before I came, senior sister Yuin asked me to pass you 6 sentences. Longao was completely focused, afraid that he would miss a word. He missed Yuin too much. He missed her all the time. Now that he finally had a clue, how could he choose to give it up so easily? Unforgettable grudges, unforgettable you. Only for love, only for you. Even if I go to the underworld, I will still have a dream. A wisp of my soul in heaven and earth. If you don't leave me, I will stay with you in life and death. Before I leave, senior sister Yuin." Before Tong Linger could finish speaking, she suddenly realized that the youth in front of her had stopped moving. He stood there in a daze, muttering something. Tong Linger was certain that at this moment, with Longao's current state, any random martial artist could easily deal with Longao. Tong Linger did not have the slightest contempt or disdain. Instead, she envied her senior sister. This was because the love between Longao and her senior sister was indeed worthy of respect. One had persisted for 10 years for love, while the other had waited bitterly for love. Sighing deeply in her heart, Tong Linger did not speak. She only stood there quietly, waiting. Unforgettable grudges, unforgettable you. Only if I go to the underworld, I will still have a dream. A wisp of my soul in heaven and earth. If you don't leave me, I will stay with you in life and death. Long Ao constantly recited these 6 sentences in his heart. Long Ao would never forget these 6 sentences in his entire life. Because when he had caused havoc in the flowing cloud sect for Yuin, at the critical moment of life and death, Yuin was not afraid of death and swore to live and die with him. In the end, she said these 6 sentences, especially the last 2 sentences. If you don't leave me, I will stay with you in life and death. Long Ao's body even trembled slightly. Soon, Long Ao came back to his senses and said indifferently, "How is Yuin?" Tong Linger seemed to be able to sense the feelings between the two, so she did not continue to joke and said, "Long Ao, not long ago, senior sister entered a mysterious place in order to break through to the divine Tao realm as soon as possible. After asking around, I finally found out that this place has a high chance of survival. No matter who enters, the chances of survival are very small." "What did you say?" Looking at the murderous look in Long Ao's eyes, Tong Ling didn't know why, but she shivered. "Did your master force Yuin to do it?" "Master did not. Senior sister was willing to do this. But don't worry, before entering this place, Master passed down the sex treasures to senior sister, so senior sister will definitely return safely." Although that was the case, how could Long Ao be at ease? "Long Ao, senior sister is doing this for you. Master has already said that as long as senior sister's cultivation does not break through to the divine Tao realm, she can't come and see you." Long Ao already knew about this. Because of this, Long Ao felt more and more sorry for Yuin. Because if it were not for him, Yuin would not have to take the risk. Her life and death were unknown, but he was powerless. Before Long Ao could ask, Tong Linger had already said, "Don't ask me anything about the sect, because no matter what happens, I will not tell you." Staring at Tong Linger was even a little afraid. A titled great emperor was afraid of an earth sage martial artist? Even if this matter was spread out, no one would believe it. No matter what, the gap between a titled great emperor and an earth sage martial artist was too big. The two were not on the same level. But at this moment, when Tong Ling saw Long Ao staring at her, she was indeed scared. She quivered and shivered. Long Ao was very conflicted because he knew one thing. As long as he and Long Fu went all out, together with the chaos, they might be able to control Tong Linger. As long as he borrowed Long Fu's soul-searching technique, he believed that he could find out whatever he wanted to know. Chapter 648. The success rate of the soul-searching technique was very high. But could he really do that? If he really did that to Tong Linger, how would he explain it to Yuin in the future? In the end, Long Ao gave up on the soul-searching technique. "Long Ao, there's one more thing. Seeing that you have a good relationship with senior sister, I'll tell you." Long Ao's heart was tangled once again. He didn't know what else Yuin had that he didn't know. Senior sister Yuin is too outstanding. She's beautiful and extremely talented. Moreover, she has an ice-cold physique that's rarely seen in 10,000 years. According to Master, no matter who it is, as long as they can obtain senior sister, their strength will skyrocket. So, die. Hearing this, before Tong Ling could even finish speaking, an unparalleled murderous aura erupted from her body. Even Tong Ling's expression changed drastically. "Long Ao, are you all right?" "Continue." Deeply sighing in her heart, Tong Linger continued. "It's because of this that many geniuses want to obtain senior sister. So I advise you to quickly cultivate. Otherwise, senior sister will really become someone's wife." Anger overflowed the heavens. Long Ao entered the dragon seal space and said straightforwardly, "Long Fu, I want strength. No matter what method you use, I want to raise my strength to the strongest in the shortest time possible." "Master, calm down first." At this moment, a strange aura shot out from the dragon seal space and entered Long Ao's body. Gradually, the manic Long Ao slowly woke up. "Master, are you better?" Nodding his head, Long Ao felt a lingering fear. Because he understood what happened just now, but he couldn't control himself. "Long Fu, it seems like it's because of the blood pool." Long Ao turned and looked at the giant blood pond not too far away. He knew that even though he had borrowed the power of the Chaos Stone tablets to forcefully suppress the blood pond, there would still be repercussions. For example, just now when he heard about Yu'in, he had been immediately corroded by the blood pond. If it weren't for Long Fu promptly taking action, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Master, you still haven't completely expelled the power of the blood pool. So, no matter what, you must be careful. Once you are corroded by the blood pool once more, even the Chaos Stone tablet won't be able to suppress the blood pool. If that really happens, you will truly become a puppet of the blood pool. It would be a lie to say that he wasn't afraid. Longao knew very well what a blood pool meant. Without continuing, Longao left the dragon seal space and looked at Tonglinger in front of him. He wanted to tell her what had just happened, but in the end, he didn't say anything. Tonglinger, under normal circumstances, when will Yu'in return to the sect? About 1 to 3 years. If there are no accidents, it should be 3 years. 3 years' time was enough. Longao was confident in himself. With his talent and potential, he would definitely be able to break through to the Supreme Tao realm within 3 years. At that time, no matter who stopped him, he would go to the mysterious sect and meet his Yu'in. Tonglinger, you really want to follow me? Tonglinger nodded heavily. She didn't know why, but she seemed to be very interested in Longao. She said, just now, you already promised me. No matter what, you will let me follow you. You won't go back on your words, right? Of course not. Since that's the case, let's go. With a titled Great Emperor as his bodyguard, Longao wouldn't be able to find such a good thing unless there was water in his brain. Noon, the sun was scorching hot. The two had yet to walk out of the forest, but in front of them was a huge, clear lake. After rushing for an entire day and night, the two were sweating profusely. Longao didn't feel much, but as a girl, Tonglinger seemed to be unable to bear it. Longao, I want to take a bath. Help me keep a lookout. I want to take a bath too. You're really shameless. Tonglinger, I realize that your thoughts are really impure. What I meant was that you should take a bath first, and then I'll take a bath after you. I'll keep a lookout for you first, and then you'll keep a lookout for me. Yet, you're thinking that way. Sigh, kids these days really have such thoughts. Longao's words caused Tonglinger's face to turn red. Immediately after, she ruthlessly kicked over. However, Longao dodged quickly and had already disappeared without a trace. Looking at the figure that had already left, Tonglinger's eyes suddenly became misty. Her thoughts were very complicated. In the end, Tonglinger undressed and slowly walked into the lake to take a bath. In the distance, Longao stood quietly in the same spot. He didn't even need to look to know that Tonglinger had already started to take a bath. With Tonglinger's strength, there was no need for him to keep a lookout. How many people would be so blind as to peek at a titled Great Emperor taking a bath? They were simply tired of living. From the beginning to the end, Longao didn't plan to bring Tonglinger to the outer sea. Firstly, the identity of the godly mathematician couldn't be known to outsiders. Secondly, the outer sea was filled with dangers. He didn't even know if he would survive alone, let alone if there was another person. Thirdly, the increase in cultivation speed that the old ancestor had mentioned was definitely not something simple. Therefore, with these 3 points added together, Longao had already decided not to bring Tonglinger along. It was also a good thing that Tonglinger was strong. At least he didn't have to worry about Tonglinger being taken advantage of when he left. Sorry, I'll definitely keep my promise next time. After saying this, Longao got up and left quickly. In the blink of an eye, he had already disappeared without a trace. Tonglinger, who was taking a bath in the lake, didn't know why her left eyelid twitched. She felt that something was about to happen, and she immediately put on her clothes. Looking at the empty space around her, Tonglinger instantly understood what had happened. Anger. Endless anger. As a titled Great Emperor, she had been played by a puny earth sage at this time. If this were to spread, where would she put her face? The unwillingness in her heart made Tonglinger clench her fists tightly. From the beginning to the end, she had never thought that Longao would go back on his promise and leave her behind. It was precisely because of this that Tonglinger had been too lax. She didn't even know that Longao had run away. After this operation, she didn't even know where to look for Longao. North, south, east, and west were everywhere. Where did Longao go? Tong Linger stomped her feet and suddenly roared furiously. Longao, just you wait. I won't let you off. You can run, but you can't hide. I'm going to the dragon sect now. I want to see if you can come back in this lifetime. Just you wait. I'll definitely let you know the consequences of playing with me. The more she thought about it, the angrier she got. The more she thought about it, the more unresigned she felt. She stomped her feet and clenched her fists tightly. Suddenly, Tong Linger seemed to have gone crazy. She swept her surroundings wildly like a tornado. The destructive power was too terrifying. This was a titled Great Emperor. It wasn't something to be messed around with. Her strength was real. Chapter 649. Longao, who had already left, suddenly stopped. He turned to look in the direction of the lake and fiercely swallowed his saliva. At this moment, Longao could completely imagine how angry Tong Linger was. But there was no other way. This trip to the outer sea was filled with danger. He could not bring Tong Linger along. Taking a deep breath, Longao did not continue to hesitate. He immediately turned and quickly left. Half a month later, Longao rushed to the outer sea. Looking at the endless sea, his heart was surging. Taking out the water avoidance pearl from his bosom, Longao knew very well that although he had already reached the outer sea, it would still take a few days to reach the Crystal Palace from here. From Tianzhou to here, and then to the Crystal Palace, it would take about 3 months. Many things could happen in 3 months. The 4 great forces had already retreated from the spirit realm of the 9 states. It seemed that they had withdrawn from the fight for the 9 states. But no one knew when the 4 great forces would attack the sect. Therefore, he had to return to the sect as quickly as possible to deal with the 4 great forces. Holding the water avoidance pearl, Longao directly entered the outer sea. Longao rushed towards the Crystal Palace at the fastest speed. However, he had been very careful ever since he had entered the outer sea. He had been vigilant all the time. After all, he still had his biggest enemy in the outer sea. It was the golden tiger shark. Not to mention the 5 golden tiger sharks. Just the heavenly god golden tiger shark alone could easily kill him. The reason why he and the old ancestor could safely leave was mainly because of the divine beast water dragon. But even so, the 2 divine beasts were about the same in strength. It would not be easy to determine the winner. What he was afraid of really happened. Longao entered the outer sea. Not long after, he encountered 5 golden tiger sharks. Longao even suspected that the golden tiger sharks had been waiting in the outer sea, waiting for him at all times. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to be chased by 5 golden tiger sharks as soon as he stepped into the outer sea. 5 golden tiger sharks, and one of them was a genuine divine beast. Longao didn't dare to face the 5 gold tiger sharks head-on. Even though he was in the water, he still used spatial teleportation one after another. Under normal circumstances, the speed of an earth sage was incomparable to that of a divine beast. However, Longao's situation was completely different. With spatial teleportation, even if it was a divine beast, it would be difficult to catch up with Longao. This was the power of spatial teleportation. Because of this, Longao rushed to the territory of the water dragon as fast as he could. As expected, the moment Longao stepped into the divine beast water dragon's territory, the 5 golden tiger sharks didn't dare to act blindly without thinking. This was because the old ancestor and the divine beast water dragon had completely fallen out. If they went in at this time, the divine beast water dragon would go crazy and kill them. The 5 golden tiger sharks didn't continue to chase after him. Longao also let out a long sigh of relief. As soon as he stepped in, Longao's face froze, as if he found it hard to believe. It turned out that the 2 divine beasts were fighting to the death in the distance. What was going on? Longao calculated the time. It had been about half a month since he and the old ancestor left the outer sea. Could it be that the water dragon and the divine beast water dragon had been fighting for half a month? Thinking of this, Longao admired the 2 divine beasts very much. At the same time, Longao also knew one thing, and that was that the strength of the divine beast water dragon and the divine beast golden tiger shark were almost the same. Otherwise, the two great divine beasts would not be able to fight for half a month without a winner being decided. Longao's aura was instantly sensed by the two divine beasts. Human, you still dare to come back? I'll tear you into pieces. Shameless thing, with just you? The water dragon roared, not giving the golden tiger shark any chance. At this time, the two divine beasts had already transformed into human form. The water dragon was also a young man with a more feminine appearance. At this moment, the water dragon was very depressed because it couldn't understand why Longao, who had left, would come back. However, Longao ignored the golden tiger shark's threat. With the water dragon entangling the golden tiger shark, he could sit back and relax. Smiling, Longao said, "Senior water dragon, I'm here to look for Senior Divine Diviner, so I'll go first. I'll come back later to help you." Look for Divine Diviner? The water dragon was unhappy at first, but when it heard that Longao was going to look for Divine Diviner, its attitude changed instantly. It pushed the golden tiger shark back and said, "Go, you don't need to come back. I'm more than enough to deal with a small golden tiger shark." Boast your grandpa. Boast your grandpa. Not to be outdone, the water dragon became more energetic. Divine beasts were indeed divine beasts. After fighting for half a month, the two divine beasts didn't feel tired at all. They were still full of energy. Not to mention half a month, it wouldn't be a big problem even if they continued to fight for a year and a half. The golden tiger shark and the water dragon had a big grudge to begin with. Now, the two divine beasts seemed like they wouldn't give up until there was a winner. Longao didn't have time to accompany the two divine beasts. He was very anxious, so after staying for a while, he got up and left quickly. In the blink of an eye, he had disappeared without a trace. "Brat, don't you fucking leave. You're nothing." The divine beast water dragon stirred up trouble again and again. The golden tiger shark had long been enraged to the extreme. Its attacks were even more vicious. Just like this, the battle between the two divine beasts had also reached a white-hot stage. The outcome could be decided at any time. Because of this, the two divine beasts didn't dare to be careless in the slightest. They knew that in a battle like this, if they were careless, they would be obliterated. In the worst case, they wouldn't even have the chance to reincarnate. They were completely focused and exerted all of their strength. Longao left quickly. Half an hour later, he arrived at the Crystal Palace without a hitch. Longao had come to the Crystal Palace 3 times, but each time, his state of mind was different. Before Longao could do anything, the Crystal Palace's door opened automatically, and the voice of Master God Diviner came out from within. "Since you're here, come in." Longao wasn't happy at all. Even now, he still didn't know what the old ancestors' plan was. After entering the Crystal Palace, Longao saw Master God Diviner sitting in the middle of the hall. He didn't look very well. Bowing respectfully, he said, "Senior Master God Diviner, the old ancestor sent me to find you. I want to get as strong as possible as soon as possible. I hope Senior Master God Diviner can help me." Master God Diviner nodded. Apparently, he had already divined this, and wasn't surprised at all. "I thought you'd come a year later. Who would have thought you'd come ahead of time?" Chapter 650. The Clairvoyant Master already knew? Longao smiled. He was not surprised at all. He had already guessed that the Clairvoyant Master would be able to predict that he would come looking for him. The Clairvoyant Master's Tao of Divination was indeed impressive. He could predict everything. "Senior Clairvoyant Master, since you already know, I would like to know what I should do?" Longao did not want to dawdle, and went straight to the point. Longao could not wait any longer. Martial artists were divided into 7 realms. They were the Hotion realm, Sciention realm, Metamorphosis realm, Nihility realm, Illusionary divine realm, Emperor realm, and Divine realm. The Illusionary divine realm was further divided into 8 realms. From lowest to highest, they were the Half-Sage realm, Sage realm, Earth Sage realm, Sky Sage realm, Sage King realm, Sage Emperor realm, Sage Venerable realm, and Sage Emperor realm. He had just broken through to the Earth Sage realm. He had not even reached the peak of the illusionary divine realm, let alone the Emperor realm. The four superpowers could attack the sect at any time. Hence, Longao knew that he had to break through as soon as possible and return to Tianzhou. The clairvoyant master seemed to know this too. He nodded and said, "Your ancestor was unable to complete the test back then. I hope you can do it." So the ancestor had also tried it. The more it was so, the more serious Longao became. If even the ancestor was unable to pass, then he knew how dangerous the test was. Longao, the test is very simple. There are 3 stages. Longao did not speak. He only listened quietly. For the first stage, you have to do everything you can to participate in the divine Tao secret realm that is held once every 3 years. You have to obtain something from there. As for the remaining 2 stages, after you complete the first stage, I will naturally tell you what to do next. Senior Clairvoyant Master, the 3 stages are not a problem. I just want to know what benefits I will get if I can pass the 3 stages. Benefits were paramount. Longao did not think that he was a gentleman. No matter what, he had come to the outer sea to increase his strength. He was not here to take risks. Therefore, Longao was most concerned about benefits. Longao, I know what you're thinking. It's very simple. As long as you pass through the 3 trials, you'll obtain a corresponding amount of power with each trial. Under normal circumstances, you should be able to break through to Saint Emperor if you can successfully pass through the 3 trials. Whether you can reach Saint Emperor or not will depend on your fortune, Jinshin said. Great Emperor Realm? Hearing this, Longao was overjoyed. If that was the case, then any danger would be worth it. Longao, if you go directly to the mythical island, let alone participate in the so-called mythical island secret land, I believe you won't even be able to leave the mythical island alive. Therefore, you must first go to the other islands to get the key to the mythical island secret land. How do I get it? I can only tell you this much. As for the rest, you'll have to rely on yourself. Nodding his head, Longao did not continue speaking. He turned around and quickly left. Only Master Godly Mathematician was left in the lobby of the Crystal Palace. At this time, a powerful fluctuation came from the Crystal Palace. Then, Tian Dao's figure suddenly appeared. Master Godly Mathematician, it's been many years since we last met. I trust you've been well. Master Godly Mathematician wasn't the slightest bit surprised. He smiled and said, Your current status is different, so of course you don't remember me. Do you need something from me this time? Tian Dao was very unhappy, but he was afraid of Master Godly Mathematician's strength. He could only endure it. In the entire Martial Heaven continent, there was only one person who could threaten his position. That person was Master Godly Mathematician. If he said he didn't want to eliminate Master Godly Mathematician, then he would be lying. Tian Dao constantly wanted to eliminate Tian Dao and become the true number 1 person in the world. However, as long as Master Godly Mathematician was alive, he wouldn't be able to do that. Although he hated Master Godly Mathematician to the extreme, Tian Dao smiled and said, I won't forget your enmity for the rest of my life. This time, I came to ask you to help me with something. This matter is extremely important to me. Tell me. Not long ago, someone entered Spirit Beast Island and used a scheme to take away the core energy. I'm sure you know what that core energy represents. There can't be a third one in this world. So I want you to help me calculate just who it was that took away the core energy. Master Godly Mathematician sneered inside. He had long since known about this matter, but he wouldn't tell Tian Dao. I already divined that person's fate, but it's a complete blur. I can't calculate it. Hearing this, Tian Dao's face instantly turned gloomy. It was as ugly as it could get because he knew very well what it meant to not be able to calculate one's fate. You really can't calculate it? There's no way around it. Before you came, I already divined this matter. That person's fate is a complete blur. However, Tian Dao, I think you're worrying too much. Even if that person was able to obtain the core energy, merging with it won't be easy. It's better to be safe than sorry. I want to eliminate all possibilities. How could Master Godly Mathematician not know what Tian Dao meant? After all, once someone merged with the core energy and reached the pinnacle of martial arts, they would threaten Tian Dao's position. Tian Dao couldn't be blamed, because no matter who it was, they would do the same. Tian Dao, do you still remember what I said to you when you merged with the core energy? I remember. You told me that once I became Tian Dao, I would become the ruler of the world. I can't do it for myself, but for the world. After so many years, I've already done what you said. Did you really do it? I did it. Master Godly Mathematician and Tian Dao stared at each other. Both of them could see the dissatisfaction in each other's eyes. However, both of them were deeply afraid of each other. So, before they were fully confident, they wouldn't make a move. Tian Dao, I can't calculate that person's fate, but I can tell you his general whereabouts. Tell me quickly. Tian Dao was pleasantly surprised. In the entire world, there was only one person who possessed the core energy. No matter what happened, he had to kill that person to eliminate future troubles. Outer Sea. The Heavenly Tao already knew about the Outer Sea. However, the Heavenly Tao was extremely depressed because the Outer Sea was vast and boundless. Even if he was the Heavenly Tao, it was too difficult to find a single person in the vast sea of people. Can you determine the specific location of this person? There's no way, but I can calculate it. If there's no accident, you should be able to find this person in this year's competition. I can only tell you this much. Please leave. An eviction order. Seeing that Master Godly Mathematician had already given the eviction order, Tian Dao's heart was filled with unhappiness and anger. But in the end, he could only leave. P.S. F***CK. I don't feel like writing these days. It's like I'm on my period. My mood is extremely irritable. My balls hurt. I'll try to adjust tomorrow. Chapter 651. Outer Sea. Inside the Crystal Palace. Looking at the disappearing Tian Dao, the corners of the divine mathematician's mouth slowly curved into a meaningful smile. Longao, I hope you can successfully pass through. Otherwise, you are not qualified to be my successor. Tian Dao, Tian Dao, Tian Dao. After saying Tian Dao 3 times in a row, the divine mathematician's face was a little lonely. He muttered to himself, I hope it's not too late. Longao, you are my only chance. After leaving the Crystal Palace, Tian Dao turned around and stared deeply at the Crystal Palace in front of him. Clenching his fists tightly, his body exuded a strong, murderous aura and anger. Because in this world, only one person could threaten his position, and that person was the divine mathematician. If it was an ordinary warrior at the peak of martial arts, Tian Dao might not be afraid, but the divine mathematician's situation was completely different. The divine mathematician had not only stepped onto the peak of martial arts, but also mastered the Tao of divination. Everything was in the palm of his hand. More importantly, Tian Dao could not see the divine mathematician's strength at all. The more mysterious the divine mathematician was, the more Tian Dao feared him. The more Tian Dao feared him, the more he did not dare to casually deal with the divine mathematician. Tian Dao did not continue to dwell on the divine mathematician. He knew very well that no matter what, he had to kill the person who had stolen the origin energy. Outer Sea, Divine Dao's secret realm. Tian Dao did not doubt or question the divine mathematician's words. Others might not know what the divine mathematician represented, but Tian Dao knew. As the strongest person in the world, the divine mathematician's Tao of divination was something that even he had to admire. Tian Dao suddenly disappeared. Longao, who had left the Crystal Palace for a long time, did not leave the seabed. Instead, he returned to the territory of the divine beast, the water dragon. Looking at the 2 divine beasts who were still fighting back and forth, Longao was also extremely nervous. Because the battle between the water dragon and the divine beast, the golden tiger shark, had reached a white-hot stage. The outcome could be decided at any time. Whether the water dragon or the divine beast, the golden tiger shark would win, would not be known until the final step. Sneering, Longao didn't choose to leave because he wanted to help the water dragon deal with the golden tiger shark. No matter what, if it wasn't for him, Longao believed that the divine beast water dragon wouldn't have fought with the divine beast golden tiger shark. He couldn't be too unkind. If he left, Longao would feel sorry for himself. Suddenly, Longao made his move. Regarding Longao's intention, whether it was the divine beast water dragon or the divine beast golden tiger shark, both of them knew clearly. Not to mention the divine beast golden tiger shark, even the divine beast water dragon was not optimistic about Longao's chances. After all, Longao's strength was too low. He was only an earth saint. An earth saint was not on the same level as a divine beast. The two could not be mentioned in the same breath. But even so, Longao still attacked without hesitation. The powerful chi of heaven and earth fiercely pressed down, causing the golden tiger shark to be shocked, because the golden tiger shark knew very well what the chi of heaven and earth represented. Nirvana rebirth? Not giving the golden tiger shark any chance, at this time, a huge dragon shadow suddenly appeared behind Longao's back. Immediately after, a dragon roar resounding throughout the entire seabed. An innate divine ability. Long family's innate divine ability was something that everyone in the martial heaven continent, including all the divine beasts, knew. The golden tiger shark had never imagined that such a small human would possess such an innate divine ability. It didn't dare to be careless. But at this moment, it suddenly found that its body had been locked down, and the flow of time had begun to reverse. Just what was going on? The golden tiger shark naturally knew that its body had been locked down, and the flow of time had begun to reverse because of its opponent's innate divine ability. Releasing its powerful divine beast energy, the golden tiger shark tried to break free as quickly as possible. But at this time, the water dragon once more attacked. If it was hit, the golden tiger shark would definitely die. But no matter what, the golden tiger shark was a genuine heavenly god. If it was killed so easily, then the golden tiger shark wouldn't be the golden tiger shark. Without waiting for the water dragon to attack, the golden tiger shark forcibly broke free and turned to flee. In the blink of an eye, it had vanished without a trace. The golden tiger shark had fled? Looking at the gradually disappearing figure, whether it was Longao or the divine beast water dragon, both of them expressed that they couldn't understand. Because the strength of the golden tiger shark was there. Once the golden tiger shark chose to meet force with force, who knows who would win and who would lose? However, with the gold tiger shark escaping, Longao also heaved a long sigh of relief. Longao, what is your innate divine ability called? Longao naturally knew what the water dragon meant. He nodded. Senior water dragon, the innate divine ability I've awakened is called Dragon Roar. It has the ability to lock down opponents. Lock down opponents? In other words, the innate divine ability you've awakened is a spatial divine ability. This is one of the strongest innate divine abilities. It's no wonder the divine diviner favors you so much. You really are not bad. Longao smiled but didn't say anything. Longao, why did you come here this time? I came to find Senior Divine Diviner to talk about something. It's already settled. Senior Water Dragon, I might not leave the outer sea for a while. If the golden tiger shark comes for revenge, I'll be there. At this point, Longao did not continue speaking, but the meaning in his words was already very clear. Longao wasn't a fool. He naturally knew what a heavenly god golden tiger shark represented. According to the divine diviner, his first task was to go to the mythical island and obtain the key to the mythical island's secret realm. In other words, he had to stay on the mythical island for a long time. If the golden tiger shark came for revenge, how would he deal with it? How could the water dragon not understand the other party's meaning? After thinking about it, it finally agreed. I'll give you a dragon scale. Remember, if you encounter danger, you can burn the dragon scale. You only have one chance. Use it carefully. The water dragon wasn't giving Longao a chance. It was giving face to the divine diviner. Although it didn't know the relationship between the divine diviner and Longao, the water dragon was very clear about the divine diviner's temperament. Ordinary people wouldn't go to the Crystal Palace 3 times. Just this point alone was worth helping. Receiving the dragon scale from the water dragon, Longao was pleasantly surprised. With the water dragon's promise, Longao was relieved. Even if the golden tiger shark came to find trouble with him, he had the dragon scale in his hand. He could summon the water dragon at will. It seemed like he could sit back and relax. Many thanks, Senior Water Dragon. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first. Go. Be careful. Nodding, Longao didn't linger. He turned and left quickly. Chapter 652. There were countless islands in the outer sea. This was Longao's second time here, and he was familiar with the place. Longao's first stop was the Cloud Island. He hoped to borrow the power of the Long family to obtain the key to the mysterious island. Although he didn't know what the mysterious land of the Divine Island was, Longao was very clear that he had to enter the mysterious land of the Divine Island. According to the clairvoyant master, once he passed the 3 stages, he would be able to break through the peak of the illusionary divine stage and even reach the realm of a great emperor. Therefore, the 3 stages were extremely important to him. Just as Longao stepped into the Cloud Island, he received news that the Long family no longer existed. What exactly happened? After asking around, Longao finally knew what had happened. Wang Hao and Yang Jian had joined forces to attack the Long family. The Long family had no choice but to leave the Cloud Island. Hearing that the Long family was safe, Longao heaved a sigh of relief. The Long family had given them a warning. Otherwise, they would have died if they wanted to fight against Wang Hao and Yang Jian. However, both Wang Hao and Yang Jian were powerful Rebirth Realm martial artists who could break through any time. If the Long family did not leave, they would have been wiped out by the 2 of them. If one did not remove the roots, they would grow again. This was the consequence of not killing Wang Hao and Yang Jian. Longao was more worried. Once the 2 of them awakened their souls and broke through to the Supreme Tao realm, would he be able to stop them? Although he already had thousands of Supreme Tao inheritances, when the time was right, thousands of Supreme Tao martial artists would appear in the sect. However, no one knew when the 2 of them would awaken their souls and become Supreme Tao martial artists. It was precisely because of this that Longao had already decided that no matter what, he had to kill these 2 people and get rid of all future troubles once and for all. Since the Long family was no longer on the Cloud Island, there was no point for him to stay. Where did Long Hong bring the Long family to? The outer sea was boundless, and there were countless islands. It was like looking for a needle in a haystack to find traces of the Long family. After leaving the Cloud Island, Longao did not search for the Long family aimlessly. He knew that since Long Hong wanted to leave, he would definitely leave some traces behind. As expected, Senior Longao, the young master asked me to bring you to him. Seeing one of the fishermen speak carefully, Longao felt joy in his heart. Long Hong was so smart. He knew that he would not be able to find them when he returned, so he purposely left behind clues. Nodding, Longao did not have the slightest doubt. He followed the fisherman onto the average-sized boat and slowly sailed towards the sea. On the sea. You're from the Long family? The fisherman was in his 30s and had a coarse appearance. He was only a Xiantian martial artist, which was why Longao admired him so much. Senior Longao, I am indeed a member of the Long clan. Ever since you left, Yang Jian and Wang Hao have been preparing to exterminate my Long clan. Left with no choice, the clan head and young master could only lay low for the time being. So that's how it is. Longao already knew about this, but he did not ask where the Long family was. He knew that since Long Hong had already made the arrangements, he believed that this person would bring him there. Thank you, Senior Longao, for your help. The fisherman was pleasantly surprised. He had never expected that the legend in front of him had just helped him break through his cultivation. Since then, his strength had increased by leaps and bounds. How could he not be grateful? Longao waved his hand, walked to the other side, sat down, and began to cultivate quietly. The Nameless Island was deserted. However, a few months ago, the Nameless Island suddenly welcomed a large number of people. There were about 10,000 people, and they were the Long clan who had left the Cloud Island. Long Bai and Long Hong were still afraid. If they had not left the Cloud Island in time, the Long clan would have been slaughtered by Wang Hao and Yang Jian. Not a single person would have been left alive. What surprised Long Bai the most was that his son, who used to be a good-for-nothing, had really broken through the illusionary divine stage and reached the half-sage stage in just a few months. He was also the first half-sage martial artist in the Long clan. As for the Long clan's strength, Long Bai was extremely excited. With 10 holy beasts guarding the island, the Long clan could ignore anyone unless the powerful island, or the God's Island, attacked them personally. The Nameless Island was temporarily called Dragon Island. It was extremely secluded, and unless someone from the Long clan personally led the way, they would not be able to find it. Longao's appearance caused the entire Long clan to be extremely excited. However, Long Bai did not give anyone else the chance. He immediately led Longao into the main hall. "Master, why are you back?" Long Hong was very curious when he saw his master suddenly appear. According to his master, he would need a long time to return. "But now? I have something important to do. I want to ask you, have you heard of the God's Island secret realm?" God's Island secret realm? Both Long Bai and Long Heng's expressions changed when they heard these words. Long Bai asked impatiently, "Master Long, why did you suddenly mention the God's Island secret realm?" "Because I want to enter the God's Island secret realm." Long Bai swallowed hard and continued to ask, "Master Long, do you know what kind of place the God's Island secret realm is?" Long Bai was extremely depressed when he saw Longao shake his head. He could not understand why Longao would want to enter the God's Island secret realm if he did not even know what it was. However, Long Bai did not dare to say anything. Instead, he said, "Master Long, the God's Island secret realm is a forbidden area of the God's Island. No one is allowed to enter the God's Island secret realm. Those who violate this rule will be killed without mercy." Long Ao nodded. He had already guessed this point. If the God's Island secret realm could be entered as one wished, then the entire outer seas could be entered as one wished. If that was really the case, then the Oracle's test was a little too simple. "Tell me about the God's Island secret realm." Long Bai and Long Hong both knew that their master had already decided to enter the God's Island secret realm. The two of them looked at each other and saw a trace of helplessness in each other's eyes. Long Bai thought for a moment, then finally said, "Master Long, there are countless islands in the outer seas. The God's Island is a supreme existence that dominates the outer seas. No one dares to go against it. Every 3 years, the God's Island secret realm will send out a summoning order to the God's Island secret realm. Legend has it that the God's Island secret realm has many treasures and a mysterious power that can help cultivators increase their strength quickly. However, it is also very dangerous. Even so, every time the God's Island secret realm opens, countless people will fight to the death for the sake of 100 or so keys. 100 keys was indeed a drop in the bucket for the entire outer seas. It was nothing. Long Ao could completely imagine how desperate it would be for the countless people on the countless islands in the outer seas to fight over 100 keys. Chapter 653. No matter how tragic the Divine Island's secret realm was, Long Ao had already decided to go to the Divine Island. Then what should I do to get the key? Overlord Long, the mysterious territory of the mythical island will be held every 3 years. Every time, the mythical island will set up many checkpoints on the 8 surrounding islands. Everyone can participate and enter the 8 islands. Those who can break through the checkpoints and reach the top 100 will get a key. So that's how it is. Master Long, this year's Divine Island's secret realm will begin in half a month. Okay, I will leave in 3 days. Looking at Long Hong, who seemed to want to say something, Long Ao said, "If you have something to say, say it." Master, according to the rumors, the Divine Island's secret realm is incomparably dangerous. Just the key to enter the Divine Island's secret realm is not easy to obtain. Long Ao waved his hand. Before Long Hong could finish his words, Long Ao had already said, "I know what to do. Just do your job well." Long Hong shrugged helplessly. Seeing that his master had already made up his mind, he could only keep quiet. For the next 3 days, Long Ao focused on cultivating and guiding Long Hong in his cultivation. During these 3 days, Long Ao roughly understood the situation of the outer islands through Long Hong and Long Bai. After all, he would have to come into contact with many people on the outer islands in order to compete for the 100 or so keys. The outer islands were boundless. No one knew how many islands there were in the outer islands, nor did they know if there were any hidden super forces in the outer islands. However, the strongest force on the surface was the Divine Island, the so-called overlord of the outer islands. Under the Divine Island, there were 10 islands: Universe Island, Setting Sun Island, Rising Cloud Island, Azure Island, Dark Night Island, Heartless Island, Death Island, Star Moon Island, Extinguished Sun Island, and Lone Star Island. Each of the top 10 islands was very powerful. They could easily crush Yundao with just a finger. This was the power of the top 10 islands. Longao knew very well that the 10 islands would send their strongest disciples for this year's Divine Island Secret Realm. At that time, it would not be easy to snatch the key. The top 10 islands. According to Longbai, every time the Divine Island's Secret Realm opened, the main competitors were the top 10 islands. The disciples of the other islands rarely had a chance to enter. 3 days later, Longao left the Dragon Island alone and headed for the so-called 8 Great Islands to participate in the struggle over the keys. Longao's cultivation had successfully broken through to the Earth Saint Realm. Unless he encountered a heaven-defying martial artist, he was confident that he would be able to obtain the key to enter the mysterious realm of the Divine Island. On the sea, a fierce wind suddenly rose, and the waves surged to the sky. Longao's ship wasn't very big, so it was directly smashed by a wave. Helpless, he could only brace against the waves and strong winds, forcibly flying forward. Unless it was absolutely necessary, Longao would never enter the seabed because there were 5 golden tiger sharks and a heavenly god realm golden tiger shark at the bottom of the sea. Longao knew that he only had 1 dragon scale and could not use it easily. With such fierce winds and torrential waves, as long as he did not enter the seabed, he believed that the golden tiger sharks would not appear. As long as he successfully reached the 8 Great Islands, he would be completely safe. However, it was better to be safe than sorry. It was true that whatever he feared would happen. At this time, the entire sea suddenly roiled and 6 golden tiger sharks suddenly appeared. One of them was a heavenly god golden tiger shark. When enemies meet, their eyes turn red. Human, I want to see how you will escape from my grasp today. Looking at the 6 golden tiger sharks in front of him, Longao's expression was extremely ugly. Although his cultivation had officially broken through to the Earth Saint Realm, Longao was very clear that with his current strength, it was impossible for him to be a match for the 6 golden tiger sharks. Could it be that he had to use the dragon scale? Not wanting to delay any longer, the 6 golden tiger sharks had already attacked. The flirtatious young man watched coldly. In his opinion, his grandson was enough to kill this human. There was no need for him to do anything. Fierce winds rose, lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled. Longao, who was about to attack, suddenly found that his body could not move. What happened? Suddenly, a black shadow shot out from Longao's dantian. It was a small black stone tablet. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a huge stone tablet and blocked the 5 golden tiger sharks in front of it. Looking at the sky-piercing stone tablet in front of them, not only the 5 golden tiger sharks, but even the flirtatious young man's expression changed. As if he had thought of something, his eyes revealed a trace of greed, and his face was filled with joy. The primal chaos stone tablet emitted a powerful aura. At this time, dazzling golden words shot out from the tablet. The martial skill contained within the primal chaos stone tablet had already appeared for the 3rd time. However, Longao still could not understand it. But now, Longao's mind suddenly suffered a heavy blow. However, Longao was not worried at all. Instead, he was pleasantly surprised. Because he did not know what was going on, he had been unable to comprehend a supreme martial skill. At this time, he finally succeeded, and a martial skill appeared in Longao's mind. It was a martial skill called the 5 Elements Heaven Swallowing Art. 5 Elements Heaven Swallowing Art. The 5 Elements Heaven Swallowing Art was divided into 5 major arts. They were metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. Each art was all-encompassing. Although he had just obtained the 5 Elements Heaven Swallowing Art and had not even had the time to comprehend it, Longao already knew how powerful it was. If he could cultivate it to the peak, he could even use it to swallow the heavens and the earth. He could even look down on the heavens and swallow the sun and moon. As expected of the five elements heaven-swallowing art, as expected of the supreme martial skill contained within the primal chaos stone tablet. However, Longao did not dare to be careless. At this time, there were 6 golden tiger sharks in front of him. The slightest carelessness would cause him to be consigned to eternal damnation, but he was unable to move. He could only watch as the 5 golden tiger sharks charged at him. Was he going to die like this? He had just obtained the 5 elements heaven-swallowing art from the primal chaos stone tablet. But now, he was going to die here. Longao was unwilling. Kill him for me. The seductive youth wanted nothing more than to kill this person immediately. That was because he knew very well what the primal chaos stone tablet represented. That was why the seductive youth had never imagined that a puny human would possess the legendary primal chaos stone tablet. As a heavenly god-level golden tiger shark, he knew very well what the primal chaos stone tablet represented. There were 12 primal chaos stone tablets in the world. Anyone who could obtain one of the primal chaos stone tablets could become the strongest martial artist in the world. Staring at the primal chaos stone tablet in front of him, before the seductive youth could react, the 5 golden tiger sharks that had already charged forward were suddenly frozen in place. They were unable to move. Their faces were filled with fear. Chapter 654. Kacha. The primal chaos stone tablet suddenly shot out 5 rays of light. Before the 5 golden tiger sharks could react, they were swallowed by the light. Fiercely swallowing his saliva, the young man was very afraid of the primal chaos stone tablet. Could it be that he had to leave just like that? With the 5 golden tiger sharks as an example, the young man did not dare to act rashly and recklessly attack the other party. The young man was very unwilling to leave just like that. After all, the stone tablet in front of him was the legendary primal chaos stone tablet. Once he obtained it, he could become the strongest beast in the world. Leave? Not leave? For a moment, the young man did not know how to choose. Longao, who had just been frozen, suddenly felt that his body could move. He was overjoyed and tried to sense the primal chaos stone tablet. But no matter what, he could not sense the primal chaos stone tablet. Actually, the reason why Longao had been able to comprehend the 5 elements heaven-devouring art contained within the primal chaos stone tablet was something that had happened naturally. The primal chaos stone tablet was the most mysterious and powerful existence in the world. Even if someone could obtain the primal chaos stone tablet, if they could not make the tablet recognize them as their master, then even if the 5 elements heaven-swallowing art was in front of them, they would not be able to understand it. This was also the real reason why Longao could not understand the 5 elements heaven-swallowing art the first 2 times. After being recognized by the primal chaos stone tablet, Longao successfully comprehended the 5 elements heaven-swallowing art in the primal chaos stone tablet. Strictly speaking, the 5 elements heaven-swallowing art was both a cultivation method and a martial skill. The two combined into one, it could be considered the strongest cultivation method and martial skill in the world. Before successfully comprehending the 5 elements heaven-swallowing art, Longao had already decided that whether or not he could comprehend the primal chaos stone tablet in the future, he would persist in cultivating the 9 revolving reincarnation technique. Without knowing why, Longao always had a feeling that the dragon seal he obtained was stronger than the primal chaos stone tablet. Intuition. Longao had always trusted his intuition. The primal chaos stone tablet could not return to his Dantian. In other words, he could not leave. Although the primal chaos stone tablet had swallowed 5 golden tiger sharks, there was still a heavenly god-level golden tiger shark. Once the primal chaos stone tablet disappeared, how could he resist the golden tiger shark? It seemed he could only use the dragon scale. Master, by borrowing the power of the primal chaos stone tablet, you can fuse the blood-sucking blade with the golden tiger shark. At that time, the blade can continue to upgrade. What should I do? If an ordinary person dared to say such words to him, Longao would have directly sent them flying. However, Long Fu was different. Ever since he had obtained the Long Fu space, Long Fu had always been full of confidence. Therefore, this time, Longao still chose to believe. Master, the golden tiger shark has already been locked onto by the primal chaos stone tablet. So at this time, as long as the golden tiger shark attacks you, it will definitely be attacked by the primal chaos stone tablet. Then how should the blood-sucking blade deal with the golden tiger shark? It would be a lie to say that he wasn't excited. Of course, Long Ao knew what a heavenly god-level golden tiger shark represented. Once it was fused with the wild draw blade, there was no need for Long Fu to say anything. He also knew that the wild draw blade would continue to level up. Master, release the blood-sucking blade. When the time comes, the blood-sucking blade will automatically devour you. Nodding his head, Long Ao chose to believe in Long Fu. Without any hesitation, he threw out the wild draw blade. And at this time, Long Ao directly used his palm as a blade and fiercely chopped towards the golden tiger shark, taking the initiative to attack. The flirtatious youth was completely dumbfounded, because he never thought that Long Ao would choose to take the initiative to attack. The difference in strength between them was too great. They were simply not on the same level. Easily dodging, the flirtatious youth's face was filled with contempt and disdain. He shot forward like an arrow. However, with the previous example, the flirtatious youth naturally wouldn't touch the primal chaos stone tablet. Instead, he prepared to go around the primal chaos stone tablet to kill it and slowly study it. But the flirtatious youth still miscalculated. Just as Long Fu said, from the moment the primal chaos stone tablet appeared, he had already been locked onto by it. So as long as he moved, the primal chaos stone tablet would think that he was attacking it. The result could be imagined. If it was several months ago, the primal chaos stone tablet wouldn't take the initiative to attack. Wang Hao was the best example. But now, the situation was completely different. The primal chaos stone tablet was the strongest existence in the world. It had its own spirituality. At this time, it had already chosen to recognize a master. Then, once it appeared, no matter who it was, as long as they were locked onto by the primal chaos stone tablet, unless they didn't move and waited for the primal chaos stone tablet to disappear, they would all be devoured by the primal chaos stone tablet. Although the primal chaos stone tablet had already recognized a master, it wasn't under Long Ao's control. In other words, when the primal chaos stone tablet appeared, even Long Ao didn't know. The flirtatious youth could be considered unlucky. At this time, he encountered the primal chaos stone tablet and even recklessly attacked Long Ao. He was seeking his own death, and he couldn't blame anyone else. Even if the flirtatious youth was a heavenly god realm god beast, in front of the primal chaos stone tablet, he wasn't even worth a fart. His body was instantly frozen. As if he could guess what was about to happen, the flirtatious youth's face turned gloomy, and he was terrified to the extreme. Impossible. This is impossible. At this time, the primal chaos stone tablet shot out a beam of light that directly covered the flirtatious youth. In a few short seconds, the 6 gold tiger sharks were mercilessly killed. As for the flirtatious youth, he was directly devoured by the blood-sucking wild saber. The flirtatious youth had indirectly helped the blood-sucking wild saber and also helped Long Ao. Long Ao didn't dare to act rashly. This was because he didn't know whether or not the primal chaos stone tablet would kill him, so he quietly waited. After a full 2 hours, the primal chaos stone tablet returned to Long Ao's dantian. At this time, Long Ao finally let out a long sigh of relief. But at this time, he didn't have time to comprehend the 5 elements heaven-swallowing art. Because above the sea, there was still a storm, lightning, and thunder. If he wasn't careful, he would be swallowed up by the waves. Human strength was ultimately unable to fight against the heavens. Not daring to be the slightest bit careless, Long Ao shot forward with his fastest speed. In the blink of an eye, he had already disappeared without a trace. Long Ao had just left when a figure suddenly appeared above the sea. It was none other than Heaven Dao. Luckily, Long Ao had left quickly and also had the primal chaos stone tablet's aura as a cover. Otherwise, if he wanted to leave, it would be harder than ascending to the heavens. Heavendao was pleasantly surprised. He looked around and muttered to himself, "It's actually the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. I never thought that the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet I've been searching for would appear in the outer seas. I must obtain the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet." No matter who it was, they all wanted to obtain the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. Even Heavendao had been bitterly searching for it for so many years. From this, one could imagine just how amazing the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet was. Looking left and right, Heavendao suddenly looked in the direction Longao left. He smiled and shot out. Chapter 655. The Chaos Tablet actually recognized him as its master. Just as Heavenly Tao left, Master Godly Mathematician's figure appeared. Seeing Heavenly Tao and Longao leave one after another, Master Godly Mathematician's lips slowly curled into a strange smile. With the Chaos Tablet recognizing him as its master, Longao's cultivation speed will increase once again. I can rest assured. Longao, who had just left, had a bad premonition in his heart. It was as if something was about to happen, but he couldn't say what it was. At this moment, Longao's heart suddenly thumped. His expression was extremely ugly. This was because he knew very well who this power that enveloped him was. Heavenly Tao? It really was Heavenly Tao. Thinking about it, Longao already knew why the Heavenly Tao would suddenly appear here. If he wasn't wrong, then the aura of the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet was far too strong. He believed that the Heavenly Tao had followed the aura of the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet here. But it had to be known that this place was very close to Spirit Beast Island. Perhaps Heavenly Tao itself was on Spirit Beast Island. No matter what, Heavenly Tao had suddenly descended. If he was discovered by Heavenly Tao, even if he could leave alive, what about in the future? Heavenly Tao was one of the strongest martial artists in the world. Its strength was there for all to see. If it wanted to kill him, it could do so in a matter of minutes. It was because of this that Longao didn't dare be the slightest bit careless. What should he do? Life and death were on the line. The moment he slowed down, he would be killed by Heavenly Tao. Longao didn't want to die, but for a moment, he didn't know what to do. After all, Heavenly Tao's strength was too strong. Although he wasn't locked on, any slight movement would definitely attract Heavenly Tao's attention. When that time came, it would be incomparably difficult to leave. In the end, Longao had no choice but to use the water avoidance pearl to enter the seabed. There was no longer any threat at the seabed. The 6 golden tiger sharks had all been killed by the Chaos Tablet. After entering the seabed, Longao still didn't dare be the slightest bit careless. This was because no one knew if Heavenly Tao would directly lock onto him. So, he had to be very, very careful. Longao had just entered the seabed when Heavendao's figure appeared. He looked around. At this time, the aura of the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet had already disappeared. Wanting to use the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet to lock onto a target was an impossible task. Even if he was the Heavenly Tao, he could not do this. Heavendao's complexion was dark and gloomy. This was because for countless years, he had been bitterly searching for this so-called Chaos Stone Tablet, but there had been no news at all. Now, he had finally sensed the aura of the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. If he were to give up like this, he was unwilling, truly unwilling. Others might not know what the Chaos Stone Tablets represented, but as the Heavenly Tao, how could he not know? As the strongest existence in the world, there were a total of 12 Primal Chaos Tablets. No matter who it was, as long as they obtained one of the Primal Chaos Tablets, they could become the true strongest expert in the world. They could dominate the continent, sweep through the world, and be invincible. If it weren't for the Oracle, the Heavenly Tao wouldn't have wanted to obtain the Chaos Stone Tablet so badly. After all, with his current strength, aside from the Oracle, no one was his match. It was because of the Oracle. Towards the Oracle, the Heavenly Tao feared him. He didn't have the confidence to defeat him. In addition to the Oracle's Tao of divine divination, the Heavenly Tao feared him even more. He was worried that once he fought with the Oracle, just how good would his divination be? 1 point? 2 points? Or 3 points? Or or 4 points. He didn't have the slightest bit of confidence. Thus, the heavenly Tao told himself that he had to obtain the Chaos Stone Tablet and become the strongest martial artist. At that time, he could directly destroy the Oracle and eliminate all future troubles. He didn't have to worry every day that the Oracle would fight with him. Humans were like this. The higher they stood, the more they feared many things, especially their own lives. The heavenly Tao already stood at the peak of martial arts and looked down on the world. But it was because of this that the heavenly Tao feared death more than others. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in such a hurry to eliminate the Oracle. Chaos Stone Tablet, no matter what, I must obtain you. After finally sensing the aura of the Chaos Stone Tablet, the heavenly Tao naturally wouldn't choose to give up so easily. His body suddenly emitted a powerful aura that covered the entire outer sea. With the heavenly Tao's strength, unless it was on purpose, it was very difficult for ordinary people to discover his aura. He swept his eyes around, but he still couldn't sense the aura of the Chaos Stone Tablet. Was he going to come here for nothing again? He was unwilling. He was unwilling. As the heavenly Tao, he couldn't even obtain the Chaos Stone Tablet. The heavenly Tao believed that the reason he couldn't obtain the Chaos Stone Tablet was because of the Oracle. If he could think of it, then the Oracle must have thought of it as well. The Chaos Stone Tablet was his chance. Once he obtained the Chaos Stone Tablet, the Oracle would undoubtedly die. Since the Oracle had thought of it, then he would definitely stop him. Thinking of the Oracle, the heavenly Tao's heart was filled with endless anger and killing intent. Although the God Diviner had helped him reach the pinnacle of martial arts back then, the heavenly Tao had been constantly trying to kill the God Diviner all these years. This was because the heavenly Tao could clearly sense just how much of a threat the God Diviner posed to it. At the bottom of the sea, others might not be able to sense it, but Longao could clearly sense that the heavenly Tao's aura was sweeping through the outer sea. No matter who it was, as long as they had the aura of the Chaos Stone Tablet, they would probably be killed by the heavenly Tao. This was the strength of the heavenly Tao. This was the strength of the #1 powerhouse in the world. It was terrifying. Longao had a feeling that he was standing in front of the heavenly Tao, and he didn't even have the thought of fighting back. This was the gap between the realms. After all, his current realm was too low. Not to mention fighting against the heavenly Tao, even fighting against the great emperor would be a narrow escape. Because of this, Longao didn't dare to make any movements. If he was enveloped by the heavenly Tao, he wouldn't be able to escape. The current situation was a little funny. As the heavenly Tao, he couldn't find a puny earth sage. If news of this were to spread, no one would believe it. The heavenly Tao clearly wasn't willing to give up so easily. He ignored the raging winds and waves and stood quietly on the outer sea's surface. His aura covered the entire outer sea as he tried to find the Chaos Stone Tablet. The heavenly Tao was no fool. Since the Chaos Stone Tablet had appeared in the outer sea and he had sensed it just now, then there was no doubt that the Chaos Stone Tablet was still in the outer sea. However, he didn't know if the Chaos Stone Tablet was hiding its aura or if the Oracle was hiding it. If the Oracle obtained the Chaos Stone Tablet, then wouldn't he have no chance at all? Thinking of this, the heavenly Tao worked even harder. The aura he released was stronger than the previous wave. He didn't stop at all. It seemed that he was determined to get the Chaos Stone Tablet even if he had to die. Chapter 656. The heavenly Tao and Longao were in a deadlock. The problem now was that Longao knew about the heavenly Tao's existence, but the heavenly Tao didn't know about Longao's existence. At the bottom of the sea, Longao's expression slowly turned serious. According to Longbai, the Divine Island's secret realm would only open for a month at most, and the fight for the key would take place in 12 days. If the heavenly Tao didn't leave and continued to sweep through the outer seas, how long would it take for him to reach the 8 islands? Entering the Divine Island's secret realm was a must. It was precisely because of this that Longao was thinking of all kinds of methods in his mind. He wanted to see if he could rush to the 8 islands as soon as possible and participate in the contest for the key of the mysterious island's secret territory. He took a deep breath. Longao knew very well that the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet had already returned to his Dantian. As long as the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet didn't appear, it would be very difficult for the Heavenly Tao to find him. After all, there were countless spirit beasts in the outer seas, and he was hiding his aura. If the Heavenly Tao could still find him, it would really be a god. When he thought of this, Longao finally took a step forward and walked forward. It was fine if he didn't walk, but once he did, he was shocked. The Primal Chaos Stone Tablet that had just returned to his Dantian suddenly shot out and broke through the water's surface in the blink of an eye. Longao never imagined that the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet would suddenly leave at this time. He didn't know why, but the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet seemed a little strange, and he didn't know what had happened. No matter what, the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet's sudden departure left Longao somewhat helpless, but he didn't dare to act rashly. Dragon Seal Space. Longao went straight to the point and asked, Long Fu, what's going on with the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet? Why is it so unstable? Master, there's something you don't know. Although the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet has already recognized you as its master, it's extremely unstable. In the end, it's because you're not strong enough to suppress the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet and allow it to leave your body as it pleases. Longao nodded his head. Regarding this point, of course, he knew it very well. But Longao didn't want to listen to any of this. What he wanted to know was why the Chaos Stone Tablet had suddenly left his body twice. If this continued, who knew when it would reappear? If that really was the case, then sooner or later he would be killed by the Chaos Stone Tablet. Master, from what I can see, the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet appeared because the energy of the world guided it. It can be considered as indirectly helping Master. Otherwise, even if the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet recognized you as its master, I can say that it would take you at least 3 years to comprehend the 5 elements heaven-devouring mantra. 3 years? Hearing Long Fu's words, Longao also sighed endlessly. It seemed that his luck was quite good. Even like this, he was able to perceive the 5-element heaven-swallowing art contained within the Chaos Stone Tablet. After all, he was well aware of what 3 years meant. Now that he had comprehended the 5 elements heaven-swallowing art, he might be able to truly comprehend the 5 elements heaven-swallowing art in 3 years. But what about 3 years later? Even if he could comprehend the 5 elements heaven-devouring mantra after 3 years, he believed that it would take him another 3 years to comprehend it. Many things could happen during this time difference. Then why did the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet leave just now? Master, I didn't want to tell you about this matter. But since things have already come to this point, I'll tell you in advance. Hearing Long Fu's words, Longao's heart thumped. Because under normal circumstances, Long Fu wouldn't do such a thing. It seemed that this matter was no small matter. Because of this, Longao listened with rapt attention. Master, there are a total of 12 Primal Chaos Stone Tablets in the world. Each Primal Chaos Stone Tablet is an incomparably powerful existence. But for some unknown reason, countless years ago, all 12 Primal Chaos Stone Tablets were sealed away and scattered all over the world. F***CK. Although Longao had guessed countless possibilities, he had never thought of this possibility. The Primal Chaos Stone Tablets were sealed away? The primordial divine dragon and Long Fu had already said that the 12 Primal Chaos Stone Tablets were the most powerful existences in the world. If that was the case, then Longao really couldn't understand just what sort of power could seal the 12 Primal Chaos Stone Tablets. Master, I know you are curious, but I am also curious. I also don't know just what sort of power could seal the 12 Primal Chaos Stone Tablets. What do you mean? What I mean is simple. The Primal Chaos Stone Tablets want to borrow all sorts of powers to break their seals. At that time, Master, although you have already been recognized by the Primal Chaos Stone Tablets, I am still worried that you will be swallowed by the Primal Chaos Stone Tablets. Otherwise, you will become their puppet. Longao already knew why Long Fu was worried. He also knew why the Primal Chaos Stone Tablets would appear again and again. They wanted to break their seals. Long Fu, then what should I do now? Master, the Primal Chaos Stone Tablets want to borrow the power of the sea to break their seals. The Heavenly Tao is outside, so you should wait here. The Heavenly Tao also wants to obtain the Primal Chaos Stone tablets. Longao could completely guess that the Heavenly Tao definitely wanted to obtain the Primal Chaos Stone tablets. Otherwise, the Heavenly Tao wouldn't have suddenly descended and swept through the outer seas for so long. But thinking about it, he understood. No matter what, the Primal Chaos Stone tablets were the most powerful existences in the world. As a martial artist that stood at the peak of martial arts, if the Heavenly Tao didn't want to obtain the Primal Chaos Stone tablets and raise its strength to another level, then that would be looking forward to. Moreover, Longao could also guess that if the Heavenly Tao obtained the Primal Chaos Stone tablets, would it be able to contend with the divine mathematician? It was because of this that Longao was very worried. If the Primal Chaos Stone tablets were taken away by the Heavenly Tao, then wouldn't his gains not make up for his losses? If it were anyone else, Longao wouldn't have the slightest doubt. But the Heavenly Tao's situation was different. As the strongest martial artist, the Heavenly Tao's strength was always there. It was better to be safe than sorry. What if the Heavenly Tao really could take away the Primal Chaos Stone tablets? Master, you can rest assured on this point. Since the Primal Chaos Stone tablets have recognized you as their master, then no matter who it is, they will not be able to take away the Primal Chaos Stone tablets. Even if it is the Heavenly Tao, as long as it is locked onto by the Primal Chaos Stone tablets, once it moves or attacks, only death awaits it. Long Fu's meaning was very simple. That was to say, even with the Heavenly Tao's strength, it was unable to resist the power of the Primal Chaos Stone tablets. Longao found it hard to imagine. If the Primal Chaos Stone tablets were so terrifying when they were sealed, then wouldn't the Primal Chaos Stone tablets be able to destroy the world? But it had to be known that this was only one of the 12 Primal Chaos Stone tablets. If all 12 Primal Chaos Stone tablets descended, just thinking about it left one excited. However, Longao was even more aware that the 12 Primal Chaos Stone tablets had already been scattered all over the place. Not to mention seeing all of them. Just seeing one of them was already a great fortune amidst misfortune. Chapter 657. Hearing that Tian Dao was unable to take away the Chaos Stone tablet, Longao let out a long sigh of relief. On the surface of the sea, Tian Dao, who was searching for the Chaos Stone tablet with all his might, suddenly had a change in expression. Following that, Tian Dao was pleasantly surprised. Because for some unknown reason, the Chaos Stone tablet suddenly shot out of the water and instantly turned into a heaven-piercing stone tablet. Chaos Stone tablet, I finally found it. The heavens did not betray me. The heavens did not betray me. Betray your sister. Longao, who was hiding at the bottom of the sea, heard Tian Dao's heart-wrenching cries and cursed. But since things had already come to this point, he could only obediently stay here and wait for Tian Dao to leave before he could leave. Looking at the Chaos Stone tablet in front of him, Tian Dao was pleasantly surprised, but he did not dare to act rashly. Others might not know, but how could Tian Dao not know? As the most terrifying existence in the world, once he angered the Chaos Stone tablet, he wouldn't even know how he died. Tian Dao was not a fool. Although he already stood at the peak of martial arts, he was very clear in his heart that in this world, there were still many existences that could kill him. The Chaos Stone tablet was one of them. Staring at the Chaos Stone tablet in front of him, Tian Dao released a trace of his aura in an attempt to communicate with the Chaos Stone tablet. Only then could he fuse with it. But just as his aura was halfway there, Tian Dao's expression changed once more. Looking at the Chaos Stone tablet in front of him in horror, Tian Dao could clearly feel the powerful aura emitted from the Chaos Stone tablet counterattack. Tian Dao fiercely swallowed his saliva. He was very clear that the Chaos Stone tablet's target was not him. Otherwise, just the counterattack just now would have been enough to easily kill him. This was the Chaos Stone tablet. Tian Dao looked at the Chaos Stone tablet in front of him with even more excitement. Because the more powerful the Chaos Stone tablet was, the more excited he was. In this way, if he obtained the Chaos Stone tablet, his strength would become even more powerful. With the previous example, Tian Dao did not dare to act rashly. In his mind, he thought of all sorts of methods to fuse with the Chaos Stone Tablet. I'll go all out. Tian Dao clearly knew that the Chaos Stone Tablet was very dangerous. If he was the slightest bit careless, he would be killed by Tian Dao. But Tian Dao's pawn could not resist the temptation and was prepared to take the risk. Tian Dao had just taken a step forward and was prepared to fuse with the Chaos Stone Tablet. But at this moment, Heavens Will looked at the Chaos Stone Tablet in horror. He seemed to have guessed something and attacked aggressively because Heavens Will did not want to die here. The more the Heavenly Tao attacked, the more the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet focused its attention on him. It was very simple. It was just as Long Fu had guessed. The reason the Chaos Stone Tablet appeared so frequently in the Outer Sea was mainly because it wanted to borrow the power of the Outer Sea to break its seal. The Heavenly Daos were gradually unable to withstand it. This also showed how powerful the Heavenly Daos were. If it was an ordinary person, they would have long since been unable to withstand the Primal Chaos Stone Tablets and would have been devoured by them. Just like the 6 golden tiger sharks just now, even the flirtatious young man didn't have the slightest ability to resist. One could imagine how powerful the Heavenly Tao was. Actually, with the power of the Heavenly Tao, it was completely unable to contend with the Chaos Stone Tablet. No matter what, among the 6 golden tiger sharks, one of them was a genuine heavenly god beast. But even so, it still couldn't block a single move from the Primal Chaos Stone Tablet. In the end, 99% of the Chaos Stone Tablet's strength had been sealed away. Otherwise, even the Heavenly Tao wouldn't have been able to resist it. The Heavenly Tao fiercely cursed in his heart. Although the Heavenly Tao didn't want to leave, he knew that the Chaos Stone Tablet was still unable to fuse with it. It seemed that he would have to consider this at length. Fiercely avoiding this strength, the Heavenly Tao turned and left, instantly vanishing from the sea. Without a target to attack, the Chaos Stone Tablet calmed down once more. It prepared to borrow the strength of the sea to break open its seal. But no matter how it tried, it still wasn't able to do as it wished. The Chaos Stone Tablet returned to Longao's Dantian. But at this time, the Heavenly Tao also entered the seabed. It turned out that the Heavenly Tao hadn't left at all. It had only been waiting for the Chaos Stone Tablet. For all these years, the Heavenly Tao had been searching for the Chaos Stone Tablet. It wanted to fuse with the Chaos Stone Tablet and become the strongest martial artist. Now that it had finally found one, how could the Heavenly Tao give up so easily? Just as the Chaos Stone Tablet returned to his Dantian, Longao immediately drilled into a giant shell. Longao had already guessed that the Heavenly Tao wouldn't leave. And as expected, the Heavenly Tao didn't leave. Longao didn't dare to face the Heavenly Tao. At the very least, it wasn't too bad right now. As for the future, that would have to wait. The Heavenly Tao entered the seabed. As it looked around, its complexion was ugly to the extreme. It had been so difficult to find the Chaos Stone Tablet, but it had suddenly disappeared. Did it have to give up just like this? It was unwilling. It had been so difficult to find the Chaos Stone Tablet, so how could the Heavenly Tao choose to give up so easily? It was because of this that the Heavenly Tao released its powerful aura, instantly covering the entire seabed. If it was just Longao alone, then wanting to avoid the Heavenly Tao's aura search was simply a fool's dream. However, Longao's current situation was different. With the help of the Long Fu and the Longao, if the Heavenly Tao wanted to sense Longao's existence, it wouldn't be an easy matter. With some confidence, Longao hid in the shell, not moving at all. He didn't even breathe as he quietly waited. He didn't believe that the Heavenly Tao would always be here. As long as the Heavenly Tao left, then he would have escaped this calamity. Just like this, the Heavenly Tao and Longao were once again in a deadlock. The Chaos Stone Tablet. I don't believe that I can't obtain the Chaos Stone Tablet. The Heavenly Tao's fists were tightly clenched as it looked around. However, the Heavenly Tao didn't search in the same place. The Chaos Stone Tablet was incomparably powerful and mysterious. Even now, the Heavenly Tao couldn't figure out why the Chaos Stone Tablet would appear in the Outer Sea. In the end, the Heavenly Tao left. Longao still didn't come out. It wasn't until an hour later that Longao walked out of the shell. Although the heavenly Tao had temporarily left, Longao didn't relax at all. This was because he couldn't be sure if the heavenly Tao had left the outer sea. Master, you have to leave this place quickly. The heavenly Tao hasn't left at all. With my strength, I can only help you block it for a while, but I can't help you block it for a long time. Nodding, Longao naturally understood the meaning behind the Long Fu's words. It was because of this that Longao didn't dare hesitate. He immediately got up and carefully shot in another direction, constantly on guard against the sudden appearance of the heavenly Tao. The outer sea was boundless. Longao wasn't too worried. As long as the Chaos Stone Tablet didn't appear, he believed that it wouldn't be easy for the heavenly Tao to find him. At that time, once he entered the 8 islands, it would be very difficult for the heavenly Tao to find him. Chapter 658. Outer Sea, Seabed. Longao was especially careful. Although he knew that it was not easy for the heavenly Tao to find him in the vast seabed, he still did not dare to be careless. The heavenly Tao was the strongest peak powerhouse in the world. No one knew how terrifying the heavenly Tao's strength was. It's here again. Startled, Longao thought that the heavenly Tao had gone far away. But he never imagined that the aura released by the heavenly Tao would instantly sweep over. If he was not vigilant at all times, he believed that he would have already been scanned. Longao forcibly stopped, not daring to move. The surrounding fishes swam back and forth, corals covered the ground. If one did not look carefully, one would not be able to see that there was a person at the bottom of the sea. At this time, the heavenly Tao's figure suddenly appeared. Longao could not dodge at all. It could be imagined that the heavenly Tao must have discovered him. Who are you? Looking at the middle-aged Confucian scholar in front of him, Longao's heart was in a perilous situation. Because no matter what, the middle-aged Confucian scholar in front of him was the heavenly Tao, the strongest martial artist in the world. Unless it was the divine mathematician, who else could rival the heavenly Tao? Longao, may I know who you are? Longao pretended not to know the heavenly Tao, because he knew very well that as long as he revealed the slightest clue, he would immediately be killed by the heavenly Tao. In front of the heavenly Tao, Longao did not even have the thought of resisting. This was the strength of the heavenly Tao. It was above the divine Tao. In the heavens and earth, it was the only sovereign. Being asked like this, the heavenly Tao was stunned, because it never imagined that there would be someone on this continent who dared to directly ask for its name. Who I am is not important. I just want to ask you a question. Why are you here? It was normal that the other party did not know him. It would be abnormal if the other party knew him. It was also because of this that Longao could be considered to have passed this trial. Moreover, from start to finish, the heavenly Tao did not think that the primal chaos tablet would be on the other party. In the eyes of the heavenly Tao, a puny earth saint martial artist was almost an ant-like existence. Even it could not take away the primal chaos tablet. Could it be controlled by a puny earth saint? It was also because of this that the heavenly Tao lowered its guard against Longao. What does my being here have to do with you? You really have nothing better to do. I really despise people like you. If you don't have anything better to do, get the hell away from me. Just seeing you annoys me. Longao held the water avoidance pearl in his hand. His heart was heavy to the extreme because he did not know if the heavenly Tao would attack him. And by doing this, he was betting that the heavenly Tao would not kill him. If he gambled correctly, then everything would be fine. If he gambled wrongly, he would die. After being scolded by Longao, he was a bit stunned. In countless years, no one had ever dared to scold him like this. It was simply courting death. However, the more the other party was like this, the more the heavenly Tao would not kill him. Just as Longao had guessed, the heavenly Tao's heart was like this. It was always at the peak, and was actually the easiest to deceive. Before Longao could continue, heavenly Tao's figure suddenly disappeared. In the eyes of the heavenly Tao, a mere earth saint expert did not even have the intention to attack. As the heavenly Tao, He would not easily kill anyone. After all, he would not lower himself to the same level as an ant. That was close. After confirming that the heavenly Tao had left, Longao finally breathed a sigh of relief and sighed inwardly. It seemed that he had gambled correctly this time. Now that the heavenly Tao had left, Longao did not dare to stay in the slightest. He immediately shot into the distance. The outer endless sea was mysterious and unfathomable. No one knew whether there were super experts and super forces in the outer endless sea. In any case, on the surface, the mythical island was the only overlord of the outer endless sea. Every 3 years, the outer endless sea would hold the so-called mythical island secret realm chaotic battle. It was divided into 8 regions, and each region only had 5 quotas. There were 50, 80, and 40 quotas. The remaining 60 quotas were all allocated from the mythical island. In other words, the mythical island would not participate in the mythical island secret realm every time. Although countless islands in the outer endless sea were not convinced, the strength of the mythical island was there. Countless islands dared to be angry, but did not dare to say anything. The 8 islands surrounded the mythical island in all directions. There were countless islands in the outer endless sea, but if one wanted to participate in the mythical island's secret realm every time, not every island could participate. Under normal circumstances, apart from the mythical island, the next 10 major islands were eligible to participate. The 10 major islands were the Tianyu Island, the Sunset Island, the Cloud Island, the Azura Island, the Dark Night Island, the Heartless Island, the Death Island, the Star Moon Island, the Extinguished Sun Island, and the Lone Star Island. Each of the 10 major islands was powerful. As for the Long family, they were not eligible to participate. However, the mythical island had set the rules in the past. The mythical island's secret realm was the treasure of the entire outer endless sea. Therefore, as long as one came from the outer endless sea, no matter which island they were from, they could participate. The more the mythical island acted like this, the more everyone wanted to curse them. Because for so many years, the mythical island had been controlling the mythical island's secret realm. Out of the 100 quotas, 60 of them would belong to the mythical island's secret realm. There was no competition at all. Who could be convinced? Longao himself did not belong to the outer endless sea. However, he was alone, and no one could control him. The mythical island's rules were there. As long as one was from the outer endless sea, they could participate. No one could prove that Longao was not from the outer endless sea. Therefore, Longao was not worried in the slightest. Among the 8 major islands, Longao chose the eastern island. It was a huge island with dense vegetation. There were huge trees everywhere, covering the sky and the sun. Each of the 8 major islands would participate, but there was a difference between them. For example, the disciples of the 10 major islands would participate in the eastern island's secret realm, but the 2 most powerful islands were Tianyu Island and Azura Island. Hold on. Who are you? Where are you from? The disciples of the 10 major islands would have their own mark on their chests. For example, the disciples of Tianyu Island had a white cloud on their chests. The disciples of Azura Island had a black flame on their chests. Those who did not have a mark were not disciples of the 10 major islands. Originally, Longao wanted to kill a disciple and enter the island. However, after thinking about it, he decided not to waste time. Who I am is none of your business. I am here to participate in the mythical island's secret realm. The mythical island's rules state that as long as one comes from the outer endless sea, no matter which island they are from, they can participate. Don't tell me you won't let me in? Ha ha ha. Who the F***ck are you? I'm dying of laughter. Everyone can enter? If everyone could enter, then the 8 major islands would not be able to accommodate them. Brat, don't say that I'm not giving you a chance. Hurry up and F***ck off. I'm in a good mood today, so I don't want to bicker with you. As he spoke, the disciple of Azura Island touched his neck. His meaning was clear. However, if it was an ordinary person, they would have run away in fear. However, the person they met was Longao, a monster who was not afraid of anything and loved to counterattack. Therefore, Longao calmly stood in place, ignoring them. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.